Celtics advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals for the sixth time in 8 years last night. Care of a 113-98 win over Cleveland in Game 5 of that second-round playoff series at TD Garden. Jason Tatum had 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. And Al Horford made 6 threes on his way to a 22-point, 15-rebound evening of his own.
Tonight was a special night for our group because we had this chance to close it out here at home. And for me, the biggest thing was bringing energy. We lacked it in the first quarter. And when I came back in the second, I felt like we needed to step it up.
Celtics now await the winner of the Knicks in Indiana. The Pacers host Game 6 tonight, down 3-2. Western Conference top seed Oklahoma City lost to Dallas last night, 104-92. The Mavericks now lead 3-2. Bruins are off until tomorrow night when they play Florida down 3-2 in that playoff series. The winner of that series will play the winner of the Rangers in Carolina. The Hurricanes host New York tonight, down 3-2. The NFL announced its regular season schedule last night. The Patriots open up in Cincinnati Sunday, September 8th. The home opener is next week against Seattle. And the team has one primetime game at the moment, 4 days after the Seahawks game on the road against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. The 2024 PGA Championship will get underway in a little over an hour in Louisville. Tiger Woods will tee off at 8:04. And the Red Sox lost to Tampa Bay last night, 4-3 at Fenway Park. They hope to salvage a split of this 4-game series tonight. Cooper Criswell will get the start. Sports Hub headlines are driven by the Albrecht Auto Group, Zoe's Auto Dealer. Get respect at Albrecht with 7 locations and thousands of new and pre-owned vehicles. Get the right vehicle at the right price now at albrechtauto.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
This is Charlie McAvoy.
High slot, McAvoy, hook it, they score!
And you're listening to the home of the Bruins.
McAvoy coming from deep in his own zone. Backhand, he scores!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Afraid, hello. Hello. Mm-hmm. Hello. Hello.
He's naked. He has a sword.
Let's talk about cheese.
Bruins are back from the West Coast.
What the
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Welcome to the show, you sweet bitch.
I should be saying, it should be, no. Instagram. Yeah.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. We are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch Toucher and Hardy every morning on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Subscribe. Oh, God, subscribe. You can reach us 617-779-0985. There you heard young Nicholas, who not only was out and about after the Celtics game yesterday. I heard he got lots and lots of audio that we will play today. I also heard, I know that he made several videos for the socials yesterday, including one where he was able to put his beautiful wife in her wedding dress and his 2 pictures of his son as we mocked him. He made the video of us mocking him, or actually an emailer mocking him, as proof that evolution did not exist. That after his beautiful wife, at the time his girlfriend, found him cowering, shivering, nude amongst many, many piles of feces in his bed, she took him, got him cleaned off. They put a fake heart in him, took him off. He eventually, quote unquote, recovered. They got married. They presumably made love, creating this child. And I told you guys I was at church on Sunday, and the pastor was like, I know a lot of you have been tricked by science and into this whole Darwinism and survival of the fittest, evolution. And then he held up a picture of Nick, and he said, this man has procreated.
Yes. Huh.
And he said that if evolution was true, explain this.
Explain how any person on this earth thought this person would be a good choice to help continue the species.
And then, you know what? He was immediately flown to Austin and sat around in a think tank with Andrew Huberman and Joe Rogan. And they figured the whole thing out. For 4 hours. They knocked that thing out of the park.
Yeah. Well, Nick was out there last night. Wallach was at the game last night.
I was.
You were Johnny Wall game?
I was.
Yeah. Was it fun?
It was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
That game.
Yes.
A lot
of
of
great
fun.
time.
Okay.
It had mostly to do with the seats that I had.
Oh.
I had a friend of mine who has some friends in the Celtics front office, and he said, I have a spare ticket tonight. Where would you like to come? And I said, yes. I said, where are the seats? He said, don't worry, the seats are good. And that's all I knew, and I showed up. The seats were second row on the floor. It was ridiculous.
Were you ever on the big screen?
Yes. I was told that I was on the big screen.
Well, you would know from the eruption of applause.
Right. No, oddly enough, no standing O.
Really? Not for the Wall man?
Nope.
How many people came up to you in that area, the elites?
None.
And when Johnny Wall game?
None.
Number one fan?
No. That did not happen. Did not happen, but I thoroughly enjoyed the evening. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Up close, you're right there, sitting right behind Al Horford's dad. It was great.
Johnny Wall game. You had your feet on the
Feet on the
parquet.
boards last night.
Wow. What does your friend do with the team?
He doesn't do anything with the team. He knows people in the front office. He doesn't work for the team at all. And they had tickets.
Is a childhood friend?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Well. I thought those are only for the elite.
Yes, and I had one of those seats last night. I had one of those seats right behind Joe Mazzulla.
Did you get to go into the special room?
I did. I got to go into the special room where I ran into one Michael Gorman.
Oh, did he recognize you?
Yes, he did actually.
Did you guys talk?
We did.
What did he have to say?
He talked about his undying affection for you, for one.
Oh.
No, it's true.
What did he? What, really?
Yes, he likes you. He likes you a lot, Fred.
What did he say? Do tell.
I really enjoyed being on the show. I'd like to do more with you guys, that kind of stuff. That's what he said.
Well, that's not me specific. That's you, too.
No. He said, I really enjoyed being on the show. Fred is great to talk to. The whole thing. He mentioned you by name, sir. You got it like that. Now's the time to pat yourself on the back. Yeah.
With so much haterade. It takes the greats to recognize each other.
I understand. If you know him and you guys are friends and have played golf and text each other, why would that move you in any way?
Oh, because I just want someone to relate a positive story without me telling them to.
You want it valid. You want unsolicited validation.
Yeah, not me personally. I know Mike likes me. I want the validation to the audience.
Yeah.
So it's one thing if I'm like, hey, what did he have anything to say about me? But the fact that I just was like, I thought he was even kidding, and then he was like, no, he had something to say about you. I'm like, oh,
okay.
Because then if you're listening, it either you're like, oh, that's nice that they're friends, or you don't care, or it drives you insane. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
I do.
I do.
I think I think what I just did is a natural human thing. As if someone's speaking positively about you, you would care to hear most people to hear.
Sure.
Many people to hear it as possible.
Absolutely. I would have liked someone to come up to me and say, Wall game! And no one said that.
That's why every time I give anything to charity, I make a billboard. I say, here, ladies and gentlemen, look what I did.
What's the point of doing a good thing unless people know about it? I don't, what's the point of being charitable unless you get credit for it?
That's why when you go to PetSmart, you want to round up, you're like, I'm going to get your corporation a tax break, and I'm not going to get credit for this. Go to hell.
Well, when I go to PetSmart, they're like, would you like to donate a can of food to the shelter? I turned to the people behind me standing in line and said, yes, I would. In fact, I'll do one for a cat, even though I am not currently a cat owner, and one for a dog. Huh? And I say it real loud.
With the big smile at the end, huh?
And then
Check me out.
Then she goes to grab for the big can. I said, no, the smaller one.
Right.
Just the tiny cat food. Thank you.
That's all just helping those corporations not pay taxes. I'm being serious about that, too. You give money. You give money to where you want to give money. You don't let these corporations take it from you.
Oh, and then they get to write it off as a food donation that they themselves are giving?
Of course, I imagine that it's not out of the kindness of their hearts. They want you to donate money to the specific charity while you're checking out. I would imagine that helps the books.
Damn it.
I mean, it's
Well, I'm
got
going to stop doing it then.
I think that you would be much better served finding charities that you like, and you know what, just getting your hands dirty in there.
Yeah. I almost always round up or do like the donation at the counter or something. One thing I will not do, and I know this is a big thing, and I want people to do it, I'll donate money when they're doing it, but one of the stores does like the Red Nose Day, where you got to buy the red nose.
Yeah.
You got to do something. I said, how about you just take my $1 and you can keep the red nose?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's, well,
No need to wear the red nose.
no, well, that helps create awareness. Okay, well, you're going to have to make people aware without me. I'll give you the money,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to wear the nose.
Or if you really are a stickler, I'm not going to give you the money.
You know what
It's going to happen?
raises the most amount of awareness out of anything?
Love.
Movember. It just shows I care for a month. It's like a billboard on your face. Is that and it now your mustache doesn't tell anything about the charity or the cause. In fact, I still have no idea what it's for, but it shows that you are pretentious.
It might be one of the quietest, most subtle moments in the office. It is my favorite, though, how proud Toby is of his mustache that he grows during Movember. Just the look on his face, this big bushy mustache, and of course, when he asks the woman walking down the street, "Smile if you love men's prostates."
You know what they should have for men's prostates is everyone should just have a rubber hand poking in.
You know what? They don't do that anymore.
Not enough.
Well, no. The last time I had
By they, you mean prostitutes?
No. The last time I had a physical, my primary, I was like, okay, it's about that time. And I don't know how it came up. He said, well, you'll be disappointed to learn that we no longer do the prostate exam. I'm like, really? He said, not the, he gave it a clinical name. He's a really good doctor, and I like him, but he's
the digital examination.
Yeah, I think he called it the tactical digital exam.
Yeah.
And he said, no, it's been determined that it's not really trustworthy.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right. So it's funny you mentioned that because I would never get it done. I refuse to get it done because they'd be like, well, we can take a blood test and check to see if there's chemical or hormones in your blood. And I'm like, well, yeah, do that. And I'm like, when this is the only part of the body.
The PSA test.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whenever there's if you go oh, my spleen, they don't go let's go into your rectum and see if we can find it. They don't go if you're oh, my heart. They don't, they have ways to look at the heart and ways to look at these things without jamming their hands inside your body.
Okay, I've watched enough TV to know if you have appendicitis, what do they do? If they think you might have on the outside.
On the outside.
Well, it's pushing their fingers into
to see if it hurts and to see if but from the outside. And there's a big difference. If you don't think there is, let's get you down to Bear Week.
Look,
and have it go both ways.
I'm not such a baby that I refused a prostate exam back in the day.
Maybe there's childhood trauma.
No, there's no childhood trauma. I'm just not a child.
For me.
Yeah, you can't do that to me. I won't like it. Nobody likes it. But at the time, they thought that was the best way of
what a weakling I was.
Yes,
not want
I
that
agree.
Done.
I agree.
Now you got me.
Yes.
Did you ever see the second Terminator where it all starts off and he's like, I get prostate? And they're like, wow, this is the best, biggest, badass guy from the future ever. Do it 5 times. I don't know if this guy kicks ass. Yeah, well, listen, put your finger in there.
How about this? You're a scaredy cat.
Yep. Congratulations. I am. It's happened one time in my life when I had a bad illness when I was a kid, and I ended up passed out in the hallway with smelling salts coming after me. I got what's called a phobia. Toucher and Hardy. We already said that. And we ought to do the YouTube thing. The Celtics played last night.
Mm-hmm.
And, doggy. Johnny was on the court.
Mm-hmm.
with Mike Gorman, who had nice things to say about the show and especially me. So we'll get more into what John and Mike talked about. Maybe he ran some tape, and we can play that back for you people. No, I'm just kidding. We'll get into the whole game in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Wouldn't it be nice to stop wearing glasses and contact?
With Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Did you catch the game last night?
Hey, we are Dutcher and Hardy. We got Bruins tickets for tomorrow night's game at the Garden. Coming up at 8:55 this morning. I don't know if they'll be on the ice, like John said, on the parquet. But we do what we can for you. All right, Hardy, take us through everything that happened.
All right, every single thing that happened last night is the Celtics had a chance to close things out against the Cleveland Cavaliers, the 3-1 series lead, Game 5 of the Garden last night. John Wallach, second row on the floor, but just did. Now, is this something that you actually don't like, John, as someone who prefers to have an eagle-eye view of things? Do you not like being down at ground level?
I enjoyed the hell out of last night.
Okay, so it didn't bother you.
No.
You weren't thrown off. Your perspective wasn't changed by things.
No.
Okay.
Did they let you eat any of the leftover popcorn after the game?
No, they did not.
How close a look did you get to Cedric Maxwell's retired number when you flew into the rafters?
Right there. Very close.
Interesting. Did anyone have a leather sleeve on that you felt compelled to fly onto?
That's why the winter games are very dangerous for people when they're wearing their leather jackets down there. And if Wallach shows up, he's liable to swoop right down and perch upon their forearm.
Yeah, and then God help any rodents around.
Yeah. No, last night, a sign of things to come early on in this game.
Holiday, diagonal kick out. Horford another three. Good, rims out, rebound. Tatum swats at it. Horford makes the hustle play. Jumps in the air. Grabs the ball. Throws it off. Dean Wade out of bounds. And Al Horford is dominating on both ends.
What in the heck done got into Al? And, here's the thing. All the Celtics players were on the floor. They had to run off the floor because they thought that ball was going in.
Al Horford had started off making a three early on. You're like, oh, good, get Al going early. And then he starts making defensive plays. And then he starts grabbing rebound after rebound after rebound. And pretty soon it just seemed like, oh, this is going to be an Al Horford night.
Bounce pass back to Horford. His three is good. That ends the run. Look at Al wanting it right back.
And I liked the fact that his teammates went right back to him, and he decided to take the shot.
And that's what they did. They said, okay, Al's got the hot hand tonight. Al's playing defense. Al's getting rebounds. We're just going to keep going there.
He missed 3 or 4 threes in a row, and they kept feeding him the ball in the first half to get him hot again.
There was a time where he was plus $1 million on the floor, and the team without him was like minus on the floor. So, Al Horford was the MVP, obviously, of the game.
Yes, of that game. And then with Donovan Mitchell on the bench again, and I know he missed time during the regular season.
A lot of time, yeah.
You just and what is the exact description that they're giving? Calf strain?
Left calf strain.
It must be a really bad strain to miss these last 2 games because, it requires other guys to step up. And one of them for the Cavaliers did just when you thought the Celtics had this game put away.
Strus for Evan Mobley, standing on the three-point line against Tatum. Mobley, left-hand dribble drive, fumbles it, but it's saved by Morris. The hot hand, he runs to the corner and knocks down another three. Marcus Morris has come back to Boston and is keeping the Cavaliers afloat.
That shot from Marcus Morris is one of those where you realize, oh, that's why he's still in the league.
Yeah.
That's why he's still getting jobs, because he's capable of hitting shots like that one.
Did you hear how Strus came into the game?
Yes, I saw it on TV, the Florida Panthers uniform.
You know who absolutely loved that? Sean Grandy.
Really?
Oh.
He went on and on and on before the game about how great it was and how brilliant it was.
No.
We'll play some of Sean's audio from before the game.
So, Marcus...
His thing is the Celtics are the greatest, their fans are the worst, and every other team in town sucks.
Okay.
Do you disagree?
I didn't hear it. I don't know.
Well, you've heard him.
Oh, you're talking about
of
in
times.
general. No, I don't. The Celtics fans are the worst.
Yep.
I don't hear that when he broadcasts.
Okay, then who are these terrible fans? We'll play more every day. Every time I hear him, he references these terrible fans. Who are the terrible fans?
They tend to reference Felger a lot, the two of them.
Okay,
but I don't.
He's not referencing Felger.
I don't know, Fred. I don't have an answer.
So he
for
has
you.
an internal dialogue with Felger on the air?
Apparently. Look, all I'm saying is you say he believes Celtics fans are the worst. The clip that you played of him saying, everyone said they were going to be rusty. I didn't hear that either. You were right about that. But at the same time, I don't think he's saying, the people that root for this team should be more grateful, that kind of stuff.
Oh, I absolutely disagree. I absolutely think he is. I 100% think you're wrong there.
Okay.
I 1,000% think that's what he's saying. And we'll play audio coming up at 7:40 where he literally just says that.
Okay.
So you just walked yourself into a trap.
Well, you got me. You got me in the bear trap. I can't get loose.
No, I don't have you in a bear trap. That would kill you instantly. You came into a cage.
Sorry. So Hardy,
the Cavaliers got to within 3 with that Marcus Morris shot, but Celtics responded in a big way, honey. Went on a 15-4 run that was capped with
Celtics by 11. Tatum steps to his left. Quick 3. Got it.
Cleveland.
A 13-2 run. Al Horford right in the middle of all of it.
I disagree with your math there. But anyway, let's go ahead and hear what Al Horford did there at the end of the game.
Jalen turns the corner, attacks, kick out. Holiday touches to Horford. How fitting would this be? A straightaway 3 for Al Horford, his 6th of the night in a virtuoso performance for number 42.
That made it 113-96, and your final 113-98 as the Celtics defeat the Cleveland Cavaliers. Game 5, they advance to the Eastern Conference Finals.
It's good because now Horford can rest for the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, most importantly, they're going to get some time off here. They're going to get 3 or 4 days off here. So they need it for Porzingis. They certainly need it for Horford, who they played far more than I think they wanted to. And they needed him in there because every time Luke Cornett was in there trying to guard Evan Mobley, it did not go well. So, yeah, they needed Horford's performance. And by the way, getting back to Marcus Morris, he's 34 years old now and passed his last good season about 5 years ago. And all of a sudden, he's hitting shot after shot after shot to keep Cleveland in the game. It was remarkable to watch.
His brother's still playing?
Markieff? I don't know if Markieff's still in the league.
Dallas?
I don't think so. Maybe. I'll have to look.
Okay. Anyway, the Celtics last night, obviously 22 points from Al Horford, 15 rebounds. Jason Tatum, decent night, 25 points. He had 10 boards himself to go with 9 assists. Quiet night for Jaylen Brown offensively, only 11 points, but he was a plus 14. You mentioned Luke Cornett. That was a problem when he was out there on the court. Only 12 minutes, but he was a -9 in those 12 minutes.
Yeah, he struggled a lot. I mean, he gives you a certain energy off the bench, but mostly now, at least last night, it was just to give Al a little bit of rest. Unfortunately for Luke, it did not go well. Did not go well last night. They need Porzingis back. They need him back soon.
Now, who do you want to play next round as the Knicks? Knicks have a 3-2 lead in that series. It goes back to Indiana. Where
Tonight
do you want
for Game 6. Selfishly, I want to play the Knicks. I want to play the Knicks because it would be a lot of fun to watch. And the Knicks have one guy who can do any kind of damage. We had this discussion a couple of days ago. Jalen Brunson is a better version of Donovan Mitchell at this moment. He's averaging about 40 a game. He's going to have to score about 45 a game for the Knicks to have a chance.
So here's the analysis I heard of the two teams. Is Celtics obviously huge favorites? They're probably very, very little chance they lose against either team. Indiana, not as fun, but they could set records for scoring at 3-point shooting. It's going to be run and gun 3-point shooting. Now, the thing about the Knicks is they offensive rebound so well, which could be a problem for the Celtics. But as you mentioned, Jalen Brunson, the Celtics literally have 4 guys that can D Brunson up.
Yeah, they have 2 guys that are going to be all NBA defensive players.
Right.
So when you switch off, as you see, everybody switches everything. Okay, you managed to switch off at Derek White. Well, there's Jrue Holiday waiting for you on the perimeter.
Jrue Holiday, Derek White. I mean, and you could have Jaylen Brown on him. I mean, there's a bunch of guys that you could.
The Celtics are equipped, unlike most teams, to guard a guy like that.
Right.
Yes.
So, Brunson could be mitigated, but they're a tough team and a tough offensive rebounding team, which may be a pain in the ass for the Celtics.
The style of the games will be so wildly different.
much different. Run and gun against Indiana, half court physical game against the Knicks.
Indiana was the number one team in the NBA in scoring this year. They averaged over 120 points a game, if I remember correctly. You're right. These games will be pinball. The series like that.
I would rather see the Knicks in that style of play. Plus, obviously, I want to see New York, and it adds so much juice to the series because even though the Celtics will be huge favorites, again, every single person in sports media is a New York Knicks fan. They just all are. They're all New York Knicks fans. You would think that because a lot of people in sports media are Boston fans, but not the case in basketball. All Knicks fans.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody. Woof. They talk about the Knicks.
They will play on Friday night. Knicks visit Indiana. Knicks have a 3-2 series lead, but the Pacers...
so it's not tonight. John was wrong.
Friday night. Denver and Minnesota play tonight.
Look for that then tonight.
Denver at Minnesota tonight. I think you're right. I mean, the fact that Minnesota had Denver exactly where they wanted them, and all you got to do is just not screw it up, and they have screwed it up by after winning the first two in Denver, dropping 3 straight games, and now they could. I mean, if you're Denver, don't you want to absolutely throttle them tonight in Minnesota?
So
more so than winning at home.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. You want to win. But I heard a guy, old basketball coach, had coached Jordan. Maybe he was involved in the Olympic team Jordan was on. He saw Wilt Chamberlain. He saw Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He saw Bill Russell. He's seen everyone except for George Mikan. He said, I've seen every center except George Mikan. That's the only one I haven't seen live. He said, Jokic is the best offensive center I've ever seen in my entire life. It's the best offensive center I've ever seen.
Better than Chamberlain. That's impressive.
I'm not making his argument for him. But he's an old man who has seen them all in person. Wow. And he said that he's the best offensive center he's ever seen.
I mean, just the recency bias alone. When you score 40 points and have 9-10 assists and you don't turn the ball over one time.
13 assists, no turnovers. He's won 3 MVPs in the last 4 years. That's the recency bias of all recency bias.
Yeah. You don't have to use the last game. You're going to use the last 3 years and be that recent about it. So anyway,
he's now in between 6 and 10 all-time players.
You got to like the Pacers to hold home court on Friday night, which would force a Game 7 on Sunday night. So, yeah, a lot of time off for the Celtics, a lot of time for Joe Mazzulla to think back and think about what this next series is going to be like. But it was tough last night, right, Joe?
At the end of the day, if you want to win, you got to do whatever it takes. And you got to be open-minded and have the humility to understand it's going to look different every night. Jalen only took 9 shots tonight, but I thought tremendous defensively. Like he was locked in his communication. I could hear him.
All right.
Do you want to have lunch with the guy? Maybe now that there's some time off?
He's busy. He's busy prepping for this next series. I'll wait.
Can't have a meal?
I'll wait. No, I'll wait till he's done.
Is his number in your phone?
And the jiu-jitsu training, and he's got a lot going on.
Oh, he's with Giselle too?
No. I don't think so.
Do you have his number in your phone right now?
Yeah.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Did you ever text him at night and be like...
Wallach, did you see him? Did he say anything about me? What did he say? Did he mention me?
John, did I do that?
Yes, that's pretty much verbatim what you did.
John, did I do that? Did I ask if he said anything about me?
I brought it up first, and then you said, what did he say?
Thank you, John. Jealousy does not look good on you.
So weird.
You're talking to him, right? Okay.
Oddest thing.
I didn't ask him what he said.
But you were genuinely pleased to hear that a friend of yours spoke well of you.
Well, I was genuinely pleased that this was going out over the air. I
don't think anybody doubts it. Why would anyone doubt it?
Fred has this phobia that everyone thinks he's an a-hole, which is not true.
Or thinks that you're a lie, that you would lie about that, which is also weird because you are one of these
by association.
You're one of these pathologically
guilt by
honest
association.
There it is.
No, that was nothing. So I mean, if someone's going to bring up without me asking, I said, were there any celebrities? He said, I saw Mike Gorman. Oh, he spoke very highly about you. That's exactly what happened. And then I took a moment.
And then you said, do tell.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's exactly.
That's
I
exactly
said,
what
I
happened.
said, spill the tea.
Yeah.
I said, spill the tea.
All right, we'll find out what happened in other games last night, but that's your headline there. Celtics on to another Eastern Conference final where they will play either the Pacers or the Knicks.
Please, God, play the Knicks. Please.
I want them to play the Knicks because I like their chances against the Knicks better. I've been saying for months I don't like this Pacers team. I don't like playing against Halliburton. I do not like the run and gun. I do not like the fast pace that game would be, which I think is I know you, Fred, you said that you heard the analysis, but I think you agree with it, and I agree with it too. I think it'd be a much faster game and a much more dangerous series.
That Knicks-Boston series is going to have a lot of juice. It's going to have a lot of national juice. It's going to be a lot of eyes on it. Go ahead.
Pacers scored 123 points a game. Celtics scored 120 points a game. 1 and 2 in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, you want to mess with that?
It's going to be a 3, but it's just going to be all threes, which is annoying to me. But whatever. At least it's the Eastern Conference Finals, and at least it means something now. This is the preseason's over. Now let's get to what we've been waiting for all season.
Yes.
And I can't wait to play Smarty Pants over there, Johnny, this Grandy. I got an email about the Grandy audio, and I happened to be listening to it when I got the email, and I went, great minds. So it wasn't only me that went, what? It was another guy that was like, huh?
Okay.
All right.
740? Is that what we're doing?
What?
Yes.
He said, what?
And I was like, huh? All right. We'll be back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
Jason Tatum had 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. Celtics finished off Cleveland in 5 games last night, 113-98 at TD Garden. Celtics through to the Eastern Conference Finals for the 3rd straight year. They'll host either the Knicks or Indiana on Sunday or Tuesday in game number 1. The Bruins trail Florida 3-2. They host game 6 tomorrow night. Last night, Colorado won in Dallas 5-3 to take a 3-2 series lead. The Patriots' schedule was announced last night. They've been given one primetime game. It's the Thursday night of Week 3 of the season at MetLife Stadium against the Jets. The season opener is in Cincinnati. Round 1 of the PGA Championship begins in a little more than a half an hour in Louisville, Kentucky. And the Red Sox lost to Tampa Bay last night 4-3. They'll play the Rays again tonight. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the Wilbur Theater. Stand-up comedian Nate Bargatze has just added a 4th show at Foxwoods Resort Casino. It's Saturday, September 21st at 3 p.m. Tickets on sale tomorrow at 10 a.m. Visit foxwoods.com for tickets and info. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
We have an exciting prize today. We got Bruins tickets for tomorrow night's Game 6 coming up at 8:55 this morning. The Toucher and Hardy Show is brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Hardy.
Yeah. What?
That microphone, you speak into it.
What do you want me to say? You said make every moment more with FanDuel. I was all over FanDuel last night. I was getting in. I was watching the game with my buddy, and he said something about my bets for the PGA Championship. I said, "Oh, Mike Gorman asked me about that yesterday."
Wait, didn't you see Mike Gorman last night?
Yes,
John?
I did. I did see Mike Gorman last night.
Did he have anything to say?
Yeah. He said he likes the show. He enjoys talking to you. Yes.
What else did he say?
He said he likes you better.
Thank you.
No problem.
But I was woefully unprepared, so I sat down and did a lot of wagering last night on the PGA Championship.
Oh, fantastic. When does that start again?
On FanDuel. You just said it, Bird Boy.
I was helping to lead you into it,
about 20,
smart guy.
Well, about 25 minutes. We got the first tee times in the morning. They're in Valhalla.
Yeah, that's Mexico, right across the border from El Paso.
Yeah, it's near Juarez, but it's more of a resort community than Juarez. Juarez is nice. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with spending a weekend in Juarez, but if you're going to do a week, I would go to Valhalla, Mexico.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what you do is you look for the heads on the sticks, and then you that's
Take
when
a left.
that's
Yes.
when you know that you've gone too far.
Yeah, it's a bit of a it's kind of like this is one of those scary rides, so you stay away from that part of the park.
That's out of bounds. Yeah.
Part of the resort, I guess.
Sure.
Juarez is just one big resort, really. There was another NBA playoff game last night between the Mavericks and who were they playing last night?
Oklahoma City.
Oklahoma City, that's
Thunder.
right. Oklahoma City. And Mavericks got the win, so they're up 3-2 in that series now. Kyrie Irving, after the game, was spending a few moments speaking with the commentators, and he brought up the fact that he had a drum that was given to him by an indigenous tribe there around Dallas. I'm not sure.
In Oklahoma City.
So they had the drum on the bench?
Yeah.
During the game?
Yeah, they had the drum on the bench during the game. So, Kyrie Irving is proud of his Native American roots.
Yeah.
And they're in Oklahoma City where there's a big Native American population.
Oh, that's right. So it was an OKC.
Yeah, so he went and he visited, I don't know if it's his tribe or a tribe he's familiar with. They gave him some gifts, including a drum. He gave the drum to the bench to play as for inspiration. And wouldn't you know it, 12-point win for the Mavericks. You are all set to rip on Kyrie Irving for this.
No.
But I'm telling you that it's a part of his heritage. And it's to be celebrated. Hardy at 985thesportshub.com. Hardy's like, I'm playing this audio, and I'm like, good. It's a celebration of Native American culture. I watch Reservation Dogs.
And
anything else?
No,
They're.
Do you enjoy the drums that get played like at the Revolution match we went to? Do you find that an enjoyable part of the sporting experience?
I liked everything about the Revolution match. I liked the talent because it reminded me a lot of when my kids were in elementary school. I liked the.
They have not started well.
I liked the cosplay of like real soccer fans in Europe. Let's cosplay. What? Let's go to Foxborough, Massachusetts, and pretend we're in, let's pretend we're in an Arsenal game. Oh, okay. Well, how do they dress? Do they dress like some guy comes as a stormtrooper, and you're like, wrong thing. No, you got to wear like a bunch of stupid crap and a scarf.
The scarf is important.
Yeah,
very true.
And then you bring orange slices.
For the players or for yourself?
For everybody.
Oh, yeah, for everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, you bring orange slices.
Now, you can do it one of two ways. You can put it in one of those big gallon Ziploc freezer bags. It's preferable if you put them in a large Tupperware container.
I know. Hey, I got kids that play. I know exactly how that works.
All right. Now, do you do the? You can also do, and I think this is probably the most preferable, have them individually laid out in a casserole-sized Tupperware container so the kids can just grab one orange slice without touching any others by, essentially shoving their dirty little paws into a bowl.
No, we don't do it that way. We do it the first way.
With a Ziploc bag?
The Ziploc bag.
You're still doing. You're not still doing.
Every once in a while.
Really?
Yeah.
And your kids are in middle school.
Yes.
Holy moly!
Every
I got
once in
out.
a while.
I was like because I coached my kids all through like elementary school. I still coach my daughter's stuff. But I think around 4th grade I'm like, we're not doing this anymore. 3rd grade, I think 3rd grade I'm like, no. I'm like, no. There's no need for this. Now I only coached soccer one time, and that was a disaster because some English guy who couldn't do it in quotations. So they were like, no one else can do it. You're the only one with like a dumb job that can do it. So I'm like, fine, I'll do it. But I literally know nothing about soccer. Half a practice later, like he came helicoptering in to like be English, and then all of a sudden he could coach. So I'm like, thanks a lot for making me take the job.
Yeah.
So now I'm obligated to sit here every practice. You knew I didn't know what I was doing, and but the one thing I did is I said no more
slices.
snacks.
Right.
Well, I've never been in a game with orange slices. The only time I see orange slices is lunchtime when the guys are playing in jeans and no shirts in the park.
Oh, they have the orange slices out there?
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, nice.
They don't want to get scurvy.
No. I don't think I ever brought snacks. I did get called. I did have to coach my daughter's lacrosse team the first year that girls played Parkway lacrosse, and I didn't know anything about it and knew even less about the girls' game, which is a mystery, an absolute labyrinth of rules.
The two sports aren't the same.
The boys and girls
close.
lacrosse,
yes,
they're not even close.
Not even close.
But
you can't. No checking in girls lacrosse.
You
at
can't.
all.
You can't step into the shooting lane.
That's right.
If
You can't touch the stick. You can't do anything.
But you can't. Like all these girls, my daughter included, who had played other sports. So we get out there and they're like, okay, teach them how to play lacrosse. I'm like, whoa. I was going to be the assistant here to put cones up at practice.
That's how they sucker you in.
Other guy can't do it, so
right.
now you're going to do it. All
That's
right.
right.
So our first game, the whistle blew every 8 seconds.
Yep.
Because the girls are just doing what I said. Yeah, get in there, stop it. Don't let her shoot like during practices. And they're like, no, you have to let him shoot. I'm like, why would you let someone else shoot? Because that's the shooting lane. Like, oh, boy.
Yeah.
A long season. Long season.
What are you going to do? Dan, go ahead.
Hey, the Kyrie thing reminds me of the Seinfeld episode. Getting a Native American thing is very funny. But,
I
heard,
the cigar store Indian. Yes, of course.
Yeah, I heard a recap. Schultz did another recap, but he was also talking about how Brady regretted how it affected his kids. It was funny because he made a Kim Kardashian joke, not making fun of her kids, but like, where's your kids, with the dad. I thought that was interesting. And you don't have to listen to the Schultz thing, but he says, like, Gronk is, like, insane. Like, he said something like he's in the bathroom before, and he's like, why is Brady doing this roast? And Gronk's like, well, you sit around the house and you start to get a little crazy, and, you got to get out or you'll kill yourself. And I was like, holy moly. Like, I feel bad for him.
Well,
like, Gronk's got some issues.
Yeah, well, I've heard more rumors coming out of this thing than ever before, that Nikki Glaser and so had a relationship and da-da-da-da-da. I mean, I'm hearing all kinds of crazy stuff. But the best was that I told it yesterday, this is just something I read, that the way the roasts are they're usually 3 hours long, but they're cut down to like an hour and 15 minutes. That's why they're good. They would have eliminated Kreischer and Segura, and it probably would have been better for them if they did. They would have cut down Randy Moss. They would have cut down pretty much all of them.
Yes.
So what you do is, now I know a lot about it. So you submit your jokes. They all submit their jokes beforehand, and they're all punched up by a writing team. So even if you wrote your own jokes, they were punched up by other writers, including Jeffrey Ross is like the big guy. He's like the producer of it, and he punches up everyone's jokes. So the idea of the repeating jokes, I guess, wasn't that big a deal as time went on, because like the writers kind of took care of that. But Jeff Ross at every roast would do this thing where you're told these things you're not supposed to talk about. I guess the craft massage parlor was one of them. Jeff Ross at all these roasts will tell the joke. knowing it will get edited out of the special, but then like Vanity Fair will be like, we were at the blah 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 roast, and Jeff Ross had the groaner of the night when he said, and he knows it will get written, but he just, I guess at every roast, like a comic will do something you're not supposed to talk about, so that's why that happened. But I heard that Nikki Glaser, I don't know the source, but Nikki Glaser had a relationship with someone on the dais that's not a comedian. Maybe in one of the she's been
was
with
was that her place in Winthrop that Belichick was walking out of? Was that Nikki Glaser?
I think Nikki Glaser maybe 20 years ago she would have been living in Winthrop. I wonder if she's done anything to her face.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No.
Nothing.
So
she's everywhere now, though.
She's smart.
Well, not only that, but she's saying like I'm getting messages and DMs from blue checkmark people. I didn't even know who they knew who I was. Well, that's kind of the point. They found out about you through this roast. But if you're into comedy at all, Nikki Glaser's a pretty well known name.
Yeah, but it could be like Johnny Depp, who's just coming out of like a Coke and wine binge and saying, "Who's Nikki Glaser?"
Yeah.
Sauvage. You want to be the next Sauvage commercial?
Sure.
You want to come put on some of these bracelets?
Only other final from last night in the Stanley Cup playoffs. The Colorado Avalanche defeating the Dallas Stars 5-3 to take a 3-2 series lead out west.
All right. Our friend Kendra Middleton is not here yet.
Yeah, she just walked in.
Oh, she's here. My bad.
She's never late.
Ken, did you hear the Mike Gorman story that John told? Pretty good, huh?
Well,
did you hear it, Hardy?
Now, the story wasn't that great. It's the way Wallach told it.
Yeah, he is a poet. He quoth the raven.
He spun a yarn.
Quoth the raven. What do you say?
Nevermore.
We'll be right back.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Oh, Hardy.
Celtics, Revs, and Patriots.
Touchdown, Patriots.
Boston's home for sports is 98.5. The Sports Hub. Easily media group station. Sports Hub headlines.
For a third straight year, the Celtics have reached the Eastern Conference Finals. They put away Cleveland in 5 games last night, 113-98 at TD Garden. The Green put together a 13-2 fourth-quarter run to blow open a close game for Joe Mazzulla.
At the end of the day, if you want to win, you got to do whatever it takes. And you got to be open-minded and have the humility to understand it's going to look different every night. Jalen only took 9 shots tonight, but I thought tremendous defensively. Like, he was locked in his communication. I could hear him.
Jason Tatum led the way with 25 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. Al Horford added 22, 11, and 5 to the 15 and 5 to the victory as well. Celtics await the winner of the Knicks in Indiana. The Pacers will host Game 6 tomorrow night, down 3-2. Last night, Luka Doncic had a 31-point triple-double to lead Dallas to a 104-92 win in Oklahoma City in a 3-2 series lead. The Bruins play Florida tomorrow night at TD Garden, down 3-2. Last night, Colorado scored a 5-3 win in Dallas. They trailed 3-2. The Patriots found out last night that their 2024 season will begin in Cincinnati Sunday afternoon, September 8th. The home opener is a week later against Seattle, and in Week 3, they'll play their only scheduled primetime game Thursday night, September 19th on the road against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. Round 1 of the PGA Championship begins in a little over 10 minutes in Louisville, Kentucky, and the Red Sox lost to Tampa Bay last night 4-3 at Fenway Park. Sports Hub headlines are driven by Polestar Boston. They're teaming up with Boston goalie Linus Ullmark to save you from boring electric vehicles. See the Polestar 2 at Polestar Boston in Alston today. Tell them Linus sent you. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7:30.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 98.5sportshub.com.
Now, more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube every morning. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube and hit subscribe. Kendra Middleton is here, and she usually, more people, because it's not the three of us, more people will tune in. She's a fashionista, so people want to see what she's wearing. It's like the Met Gala.
She really dressed up today.
I did, yeah.
Check you out.
I know. I even braided my hair for you guys.
That's very nice. What time did you get up this morning?
I got up at 5:45.
That's not bad.
No.
It's later than me.
I got to take the dog out, have my coffee.
All right. I guess it's nice. Bruins tickets for tomorrow night's game 6 at the TD Garden are coming up at 8:55 this morning. Kendra is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Kendra, were you locked into the NFL schedule release? Was that something you were into?
I was. I'm a big schedule release girl. I think it's a good time not only to, as a fan, look at, okay, I think that this is where we can win some games, lose some games, where the bye week is. And it's also, obviously, as a gambling person, a good time to kind of get ahead of everybody else before the bets get, a little too watered down or anything like that. It's good to get ahead of the market.
So I want to go over the schedule with you, but first, your own plans.
Yes.
Are this schedule release, you have very, very bold plans.
Yes, I do.
Now, what are you doing?
So depending on my schedule here, I think I'm going to leave after our show on Saturday and go to Miami for week 1. I think I'm going to do both London games and then potentially also, depending on my schedule here, might do the Vegas game for the Jaguars.
So you would go to 3 Jaguar games in a row? You'd go to Miami?
Well, no. Miami's week 1.
Miami's in
and Vegas is
London.
Christmas. Miami's in Miami. The Bears and the Patriots are in London.
So wait, so you go to 4 Jaguar games?
At least, yeah. I'll go home for a couple games, too.
You like the NFL on the field product, in the stand product that much?
Yeah, I do. I like anything. I will go to any game, any sporting event of any kind. It doesn't matter what it is.
Obviously, you went to a Revolution game.
Yeah, I go for PLL games. I'll go to
What's that?
The Premier Lacrosse League.
Dumbass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kendra.
Yeah.
Have you ever been?
Oh, you were talking to me.
Yes, I was.
Have you ever been to an AUDL game
I don't.
or a UFA game?
I don't know what that is.
Ultimate Frisbee?
No.
You should.
I would go. I love to go to any sporting event, but it's for me going home for a Jags game is great because I get to see my family, my brother's kids, my mom, that kind of thing. It's two birds.
So when you go to London, you won't stay in London the whole time. You have other plans.
No, I think for the first game I'll probably leave after our show Saturday, take a red eye, get there Sunday morning, and go straight through, go to the game. Sleep probably Monday, and then I'll probably either hop to another country or two for a couple days, and then come back for the other game.
What country?
Maybe I think Italy in October might be not too shabby. I feel like that's a.
Are you a fan of the Speedo? Are you a fan of
I'm pro Speedo, pro nudity. Do whatever the hell you feel like, brother.
Yeah, but are you really when rubber meets the road? Do you want to see people with guys with like ass floss?
Yeah, who cares? Who cares? It's a butt.
So you're gonna? Are you?
But is it? But do you like that better than board short? Like if you could prefer, would you like someone in board?
If it's my person,
It's not on your body. It's on a male body. They're coming from the sea. Let's say this: you're sitting on the bench. You're sitting on the bench. You're sitting on the beach. Here we are. You're minding your own business. In the water, about shoulder height water, you see a man. You're like, oh, that's a handsome guy. I'm not really thinking about it, but that's a handsome guy.
So he has to be handsome.
He catches your eye, or he has the best personality you've ever seen. I don't know. Something about him. You're looking at him.
Okay.
Okay. So you're not on your phone. It's a miracle. And you look into the water and you see this person in the water. Okay. He emerges from the water. You're trying not to look you're trying not to stare, but you are interested. You're thinking, let's see this guy. He looks like a little John Wallachy. Let's see if what he's got going.
Fabulously handsome is what he's trying to say.
You wear Speedos?
No. So, believe me, he doesn't wear anything when he's flying.
Well,
so when he comes out of the water, you're like, ooh, this guy's got a pretty nice torso. He keeps himself in good shape. Now he's emerging. He has swimsuits on. Would you prefer at this point he be wearing board shorts or a Speedo?
If he's Italian, Speedo. If he's not, board shorts.
Look at you, Kendra.
Because
throwing yourself into the culture.
Yeah, exactly. Because if he's Italian, it's like, okay, that's not weird. Like, that's just him. But if he's foreign and in a Speedo, probably a weirdo.
But you find Speedos to be nice on men's bodies.
I just don't care. Also, it's great because I think
you should say you don't like them because they're frightening for men to wear.
It's funny. It's funny.
Oh, well, that's what everyone
it's
wants.
It's the hee-hee ha-ha of it all.
Yeah, that's what everyone wants.
That's what everyone
Not
goes
for
for.
Wallach. They haven't made a Speedo yet that can hide what he's packing.
Wallach can't wear one. If you ever seen you've seen the infamous crease picture, haven't you, Kendra?
No.
Oh, boy.
What is the crease
Well, I
picture?
just happen to have.
We took a picture after the show one day, and then we took it innocently, and then everyone afterwards went, Jesus, Wallach, what's going on?
It's like a Tony P and DC situation.
Yeah, it was like it was like a.
It's very flattering, the picture.
It was a very flattering.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Wallach.
No,
don't be sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Something to be proud of.
He is celebrated for it.
Yes.
All right.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
If there was an Instagram site called Just Speedos. Italian guys in Speedos.
I follow worse accounts than that. So
what's the worst account you follow?
Probably sexy mugshots.
.com?
No, it's an Instagram account of just like hot people who go to jail.
Have you ever written a guy in jail?
No, but I would.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have you ever wrote the Menendez brothers?
No.
They might have not done it. Would you write? You would write a guy in jail?
Would you accept commissary credit from a guy in jail for pictures of your feet?
No. But if he wants to make me crafts, then sure.
You would take crafts from
crafts for feet. Hit me up.
Have you ever? Have you ever?
Save that.
Have you ever? Because you follow this website of hot guys with hot mugshots.
It's women too. It's just hot people with mugshots.
No, I get it. And there is something. It's a cool. I would imagine that's fun to look at. Have you ever been like? There's the famous one of that guy who became a model from his mugshot. Like this African American guy, like he's like looks like a model, and then they ended up making
Jeremy Ray Meeks.
Yes, that's exactly who it is. Yeah, he's very
Oh,
handsome.
I know who this guy is. Yeah, I remember this. There was like a big controversy with like his baby mama. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they found him in a mugshot. So,
Yeah.
so have you ever been tempted to write to one of these people?
No. But I don't like to like write as in articles and stuff, but I like to write letters. So I would definitely write a felon. I have terrible taste in men, so it would just be on brand.
Adolfo used to correspond with people from jail all the time. We had a segment about it. Would you like to correspond from people with jail? They could send
Hell yeah.
could send letters here to
Yeah.
the station.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll write people letters.
All
Let's
right.
find me. Let's find. This is my dating.
All right,
I see no potential issues arising from this.
No.
Why they're in very smooth.
I didn't just go through a stalking incident.
Are they going to be in jail forever?
They're sending the letters to the station. They're sending them to Waltham, to the station. They don't. Kendra's not sending them anything unless she wants to.
It might be feet for crafts. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know.
I don't think Beasley's going to want to do Feast for Crafts. That might be your new Instagram page, Feast for Crafts. What kind of crafts would interest you?
Like, do you know what prison purses are? Do you guys?
I know what a Fifi is.
Okay, so back.
I know what a honey bun
so
is.
I have a couple of
Can't eat
them,
'em.
but way back in, I want to say like maybe the 70s or 80s, they used to in jail teach you trades so that when you got out you could have a job. And a big thing back then was leather work with purses, and so they would teach felons how to make like authentic purses. I have a couple purses, one made in a Cuban jail. It's like an old, like a baby crocodile head purse, and then I have one that was made in a Lee County jail in Alabama in a prison that are just beautifully crafted. But if you could make me a prison purse, I'd send you feet. Free feet all day. Feet for crafts.
You should really.
I
send
don't know. She's already had one stalking it.
I know. I was gonna say I just moved for stalking. Can we? Me with the felons.
I never listen. There are a lot of people that listen in prison, so
There's worse things I could be doing.
Absolutely. Then one in crafts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For feet.
For your long-term health and well-being, I don't know that there are worse things that you could be
I
doing.
could be doing meth, Hardy.
That might mean might
Would you
be
rather me
near
be
the
doing
top of
meth?
the list.
Plus, these people are being rehabilitated.
Maybe.
You'd rather me do meth.
Yeah, because you can just stop. And
You can just stop doing meth?
Yeah, because the meth is not going to crawl up out of the desk drawer that you left it in and then stalk
I don't
you
know,
around
because-
once it gets out of jail.
Because
yeah.
the meth doesn't have a record, though. The cops aren't looking for, well, they might be looking for it, but they don't have an ID on that. Whereas a felon,
Kendra's very familiar
Tight-shipped.
with this. Yeah.
Kendra's being very specific about this, actually.
Now, Kendra, would you like drawings of yourself, like very well done, or
I've had guys write me the worst songs in the world. I've had guys.
do you have them?
Yeah.
You have them?
Yeah.
Oh,
Did we
no,
ever
we
play
got
them
to
on
hear
the
some
air?
of those.
Yeah. Oh my God,
we
yeah.
definitely got to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can text it to Dan.
Good.
Next week
Do
when
that.
you come in, can we hear some of the songs?
I can do it right now, but on the break.
No, we got a schedule to talk about it.
Yeah, we got to actually do sports.
And,
but next week I want to do it.
Oh, I can't wait. Oh, this is
He was
fantastic.
Italian, and it is the worst song you've ever heard in your life.
Well, the two of those don't go together.
I don't know if I would let you hear it beforehand, but I need to see your honest reaction.
Yeah,
Because
well, I
it
never
is-
like to hear it before.
It is so bad. It is so.
How many songs do you have?
I have at least one I know for sure on my phone, maybe two in my email.
Okay.
Okay,
good.
next week.
It is the
I wanna hear.
worst song you've ever heard.
Awesome.
All right, we're in Main Street in Waltham. If you're currently
I
incarcerated,
just got a stalking incident. Don't tell them where I am, even though they can Google it.
it's the building in Waltham.
I know.
I mean, people know where it is.
I know.
All right. So if you're a felon,
Jamelli's gonna have to walk me to my car.
I'll walk you to your car. but
Jamelli's
Jamelli
my
can walk you-
protection.
Jamelli, believe me, you'll get to your car tomorrow if you walk.
I was just going to say, it's going to take a while. If you want to get there anytime soon, maybe Fred. Maybe
Hardy's
the
like a
THU.
disapproving.
I think
father.
I'd have to kick somebody's ass over Jamelli.
No, I just thinking the top 6 worst idea this show has had, but we're in the early stage.
That's right. There could be worse ones coming down the pike at some point.
Adolfo used to correspond with people in prison. We had Prisoner Letter Wednesdays.
And how many times was Adolfo involved in an incident where someone was giving him unwanted attention?
He had to get a restraining order.
Did he really?
Yep.
Because
the
of
best
that?
the best of us do, to be honest.
Yeah, he did. Swear to God.
Like
In
myself.
I won't ask about it.
Well, I don't know like every detail about
Was
it.
it a
but
man or a woman?
Nick and Mike know. Yeah, it was a man.
Man-on-man crime.
Yeah, he had to go to court and everything. He had to go to court in Brighton.
Sounds like a smooth sailing. I think this should be good.
Yeah. It wasn't a guy from Prison Letter Wednesday.
Oh, all right. I thought it was.
A prison letter is just a letter that comes to the station. It doesn't do anything.
I
Kendra doesn't have to do anything. Yeah, I don't know how that would spark.
At least it won't be Flowergate 2.0.
Well, all right.
Do you not see any danger in encouraging Kendra to engage in even a written correspondence relationship?
You're encouraging me to do meth.
With a convicted felon. Do you see any danger in that, Fred?
I don't know if she should write the guy back, but I'd be interested to see what kind of craft she could get. I certainly wouldn't tell her to send her feet, but I would like to see what comes in. Maybe nothing goes out. But maybe the letters that come in.
I could just promise feet.
I don't think.
And never send them.
How about encouraging convicted felons to engage in an unrequited love situation?
Oh,
with
get
Kendra?
out of here! If they're listening to the show, what the hell difference does it make if they draw a picture? Yo, you're being paranoid.
Oh, absolutely. That's me.
They're being rehabilitated, first of all. I mean, they're all being rehabilitated. That's what the point of our prison system is. It's not a for-profit thing. All right. When we come back, we will go through the NFL schedule.
I've got some golf stuff for Hardy too.
Oh, cool. Now we're talking.
You're walking into it.
Well,
It's either going to go way too long or he's going to be rude.
No. We'll make it real quick.
Or he's going to be rude.
PGA
I'm not going to be rude
Hardy's
at all.
in a good mood
Just teed
today.
off. I think this is timely.
We're going to make it real quick. It'll be fun. More people, as many people are betting on the PGA Championship this weekend that I bet are placing season win totals on NFL.
I bet you
teams.
as many people are betting on the PGA Championship this week as that are going bowling right now.
You're so wrong on that.
What?
Am I?
Are there a lot of people bowling
Show
or
me
nobody
the bowling
bowling?
numbers.
I know
What-
the PGA.
How many strings?
The PGA Championship is the fourth major, in the one that doesn't count.
That's why they moved it to May.
I know
So
exactly.
people would pay attention to it.
Thank you.
It used to be last, right?
It used to be in August, and literally
It's
nobody.
barely ahead of the Players' Championship. It's this far ahead of the Players' Championship.
Well, the Southeast. Well, I guess Louisville is kind of the Southeast. It has to be right now before it gets too hot, or it's just miserable.
Well, it bounces around from place to place, but they moved it to May. You want to know why they moved it to May? They shifted the entire PGA Tour schedule so it would no longer interfere in any way with football. They tried playing the last big tournaments of the year in September, and nobody watched.
Right.
Once they don't even mess with Labor Day weekend anymore. We used to have the big Labor Day weekend tournament here in Boston, and it interfered with college football. And all the guys would come off the course. We were trying to do interviews with them. You were down there, Fred, and they'd be, okay, you want to talk about the route? No, I want to talk about Alabama. Big game on Saturday. Like, oh, okay. As of Labor Day, people do not care about golf.
Hardy's not upset at all.
No.
Not
it's
even
fine.
a little.
I didn't.
He was out at Top Golf yesterday.
You went to Top Golf yesterday?
Nope, I went to Core Golf.
Core
yesterday.
Golf.
We did
Scenic,
some serious
Massachusetts.
instructive interviews that'll be coming up on the Sports Hub Golf Club, 2 a.m. on the 4th of July.
All right, we'll be more back with Kendra Middleton. We will do some betting. We'll talk about the PGA in seriousness. We'll talk about the PGA Championship. We'll talk about win totals. We'll talk about the schedule. That's all coming up in just a moment.
More Toucher and Hardy on the way.
Sure. 1984 diver down. Yes.
In 1984, my mom let me skip school in the morning to go get. I was 9 years old to get tickets to the 1984 Van Halen tour. We went to Off the Record on Orchard Lake and 13 Mile, and stood in line. And they opened up the ticket window, and then they closed the ticket window, and they said it's over.
Yep.
And I went, oh, that sucks. And my mom goes, oh, sorry, got to go to school now. And that was that. Little did I know, when I worked in radio, how people are so entitled to go to these concerts. I mean, when I was 9, I could accept that I wasn't going to this concert. When people would call in, did I win? No. What the hell is BS? Like the dumb Cure fans that called about that. My station had a Cure concert, like exclusively. You can only get tickets by winning them through the station for the Cure playing at this theater. And boy, did the Cure fans were just terrible. Who are you, you corporate radio station? You're the gatekeeper for this, blah, 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 blah.
Well, not even the gatekeepers, because the one time I stood in line, the first time I stood in line, like showed up earlier, was at the ticket window. I was trying to buy tickets to a Rush concert. I'm like, I want to be in the front row. I'm going to be there, like an hour before the ticket window opens. And I was the only one there, and I was just waiting. And it was at the Meadowbrook Mall. And the person showed up like 2 minutes late. It was like 8:02 a.m. And I'm like, come on. And they said, okay, what do you want? I'm like, I want 2 tickets to see the Rush concert. I'm like, okay, row 18. I'm like, how? Because it's all BS. They, the best seats don't go on sale.
Especially
like that.
Rush shows, it goes to all the girls. So if you go to a Rush show, the first 20 rows are girls. What was your first concert, Kendra?
Aaron Carter.
Oh,
yeah.
He has a horrible coming up story. How about you, Hardy?
Tangerine Dream. And,
no, it wasn't.
Yep. And then my first, that was also at Meadowbrook. My first real concert, Cobo Hall, Dio.
Tangerine. Who are Tangerine Dream?
Like a techno thing that I think my sister took me to.
Oh, you had an older sister.
No words. An older sister. I went with her and her friends. But then my
Echo
first
and
real
the Buddy
concert,
sister?
Mark Harper and I went to. She was into Prince.
Okay.
Stuff like that. But then Mark Harper and I got dropped off at Cobo Hall to see Dio.
Oh, there had to have been so much education there.
We learned a lot that
night. A Cobo Hall Dio show. Not a sixth grade, a person who finished sixth grade between them. Go ahead.
I told you I stayed up all night at the Burlington Mall trying to get Prince tickets, right? Have I told you that story?
No, you never told me.
Yes. Strawberries, I believe it was. They were selling Prince tickets. Stayed up all night on like a random Friday night when I was a kid. Waited all night. Sold out before I could get to the window because, like you were saying, the ticket window opens, ticket window closes. This is the 80s when he was at the height of his...
Because my wallet's old enough to have stayed up all night for the Dirty Minds tour, like 78.
No.
79.
Be Real, who's been around for a long time, said Wallach's first was Elvis on Ed Sullivan.
First concert, the Cars at the Boston Garden.
You know what? Robert Plant was right around the same time I saw Dio, too. I'd have to go back. I saved like early ticket stubs and then nothing else. I threw them all away.
I saw the Temptations and the Four Tops, but my first real concert was Men at Work with InXS opening the Cargo Tour.
That's pretty good. Men
That's
at
probably
Work.
it's probably a good show.
I loved Men at Work.
Yeah.
I loved Cargo. I think it's better than Business as Usual.
Controversial take.
I'm probably going to be in the top 1% of Men at Work listeners this year. I talk to Ryan Beaton about it pretty often.
What is your favorite Men at Work song?
Who can it be now?
Overkill. Come on.
Sorry.
Overkill.
I have good college memories to it, okay?
That's all right. You familiar with the Cargo album?
No.
Is that the one with Dr. Heckle and Mr. Jive on it?
That's a terrible song. High Wire is a good song. You know, it's a mistake. It's a mistake.
Yeah.
All right. So the Patriots schedule is out, and so many primetime games. It's really a shame. It looks like Hardy's going to keep this Patriots.com job after all. So, what's the over under win total for the Patriots this year?
4.5 at -170 is what it's looking like. I think I lean slightly over at 5 games. I think they fall into 5 games with this schedule, but I really don't think that they do much outside of that. Their schedule is really tough.
Do you
and
think
they're flying a lot?
Yeah, they've traveled more than any other NFL team. Do you think they beat a team in the AFC East this year?
Yeah, I think they do. I think they maybe could Jets or Dolphins. The Bills aren't as good as they were last year. I think that their receiver situation is going to depend a bit. A lot of people aren't as high on Keon Coleman as I am. I'm a big Keon Coleman stan. I think that he's going to be a pretty easy replacement for Stephon Diggs in that offense. And I know that they have to make up for the production of Gabe Davis as well. But I think that they could win 2 divisional games. And if I had to pick right now, it'd probably be Miami at home and one of the Jets games. And I know that the Jets with Aaron Rodgers are obviously going to be, a bit of a contender, but it just feels like they're a team who will lose to teams that they shouldn't at some point in the season. So if I had to pick my wins, those would probably be my AFC East wins for them.
Well, the third game of the season where they play the Jets will have played 3 games in something like 12 days or something ridiculous.
That's a good spot for the Pats. That would be the first game I can realistically seeing them win until they play Jacksonville or the Titans in week 7 or 9.
And you're just saying that to put mojo on it.
On what?
On the Jacksonville. You don't really think Jacksonville's going to lose to the Patriots?
No, I don't think that Jacksonville's going to lose to the Patriots, but I could see that happening depending on how the first few weeks shake out. The Jaguars, yes, it's a home game for them. They play really well in London. That's kind of the ongoing joke with them. But I could see them losing one of these 2 games, and if it's going to... They're both terrible teams that they're playing abroad, but if it's going to be one of the 2 teams, I feel like it could be the Patriots. So I could see an upset there. Do I think it'll happen? No, but wouldn't say it's unlikely.
All right.
I have trouble looking at 5 wins on the Patriots schedule right now. Number one, because there's so much unknown. If you can just take Gerard Mayo and say, okay, he's going to be a first-year coach doing just okay. All right. You're going to have Jacoby Brissett in there for the first 4, 5, 6 games. Do you see any wins in those first 4, 5, 6 games? You said Miami at home. I wouldn't say that's necessarily a winnable spot for the Patriots.
I don't either. I'm just saying if they're going to win one of these first, 7 games, I feel like that's one that they could win. I also don't see 5 wins here.
Okay, yeah. So, but you did. I thought you said you.
I do. I'm going to bet the 5 wins because I think that they can back into that. But looking at this schedule, it's a really tough schedule.
Where do they back into it?
So I think
what part of the schedule do the Patriots pick up 2 wins out of 3 games? Because that's what it'll take if they have a slow start.
I think they could beat Washington week 3. I think that they could beat sorry, that's preseason. I think that they could beat Seattle week 2. I think that they could win one of the Jets games. I think they could win one of the Miami games. I think they could beat Jacksonville. They could beat Chicago. And
Tennessee, right?
Tennessee, and I think that they could beat the Rams. That's 6. I say that they could probably win 5 of those, and I think that they really do upset somebody at some point. I think that they could also beat the Cardinals. The Cardinals are going to be one of my big plays for the season that I'm throwing out here today. I think that the Cardinals are going to be the Texans of last year. I think that they're going to be this young team that we're going to see kind of on the come up. They made some good moves in the offseason. I think Zay Jones was a great signing for them. Obviously, the Marvin Harrison Jr. pick was great. They had Paris Johnson that they drafted last year. Kyler's going to have some protection. He's had a year to develop. I think that that's huge at a left tackle position. I think that the Cardinals are probably going to be the closest thing that we will see to what the Texans were able to do last year. So I am probably going to make some Cardinals plays today. I'm not sure exactly what they're sitting at, but whatever it is, I want to say it's probably 5.5, 4.5 games. I'm probably going to lean the over for them. That's going to be my big play of the season.
So the Cardinals are the team that you think has the best chance of exceeding their win total.
I do, yeah. I had it pulled up earlier, and now I can't find it. I want to say it was 5.5, 6.5 wins, something like that.
You like it, whatever it is.
Yeah, because I think that people are going to significantly undervalue the Cardinals because of how their last few seasons have gone, and I think that what they did this offseason, getting Kyler Murray some weapons, was huge.
Okay. Now, what do you have the Travelers Championship? Hardy's been chomping at the bit for this.
PGA Championship.
Travelers Championship, you've offered us the head of the Travelers Championship to come in studio.
Yeah, and I went ahead. I could tell you were joking yesterday when you said no thank you, so they will be here on that date.
Awesome. So now let's hear what Kendra has to say, and you two can go back and forth. Kendra, who do you like in the PGA Tour Championship, which John tees off soon?
PGA Championship.
It just started. Yes.
Oh,
it's almost as though you're purposely mispronouncing the name of the tournament twice now.
The Begah.
I know you wouldn't be doing
the Begah Championship. All right.
The ship, as we call it.
Yeah, I'm going to the ship.
Yeah, that's
the
right.
Begah Championship.
Okay. Go ahead. Now, Gorman asked me about this yesterday. Who do you like? I'm like, well, you're silly if you're just trying to pick who's going to win to not like Scotty Scheffler to win it. If you're trying to make some real money on this, then that's when you have to get creative. So what do you have?
So I am fading Scotty Scheffler, actually. I know that.
It's fine.
I'm fading Scotty. His kid's only a couple days old, probably not sleeping so much, and he hasn't played a lot of golf in the last month. Like, he has not played a ton of golf in the last month with everything going on with the kid and after the Masters and all that. So I think that he could be a little rusty. I think with this course and the changing of the tee box on the second hole, that this is a Brooks course. This is a course where you got to drive the
That's
ball.
what they call my mom.
What?
The tee box.
Why?
Touch her.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, man. Wallach. Okay.
That was funny.
That was good. That I didn't get it at first, and I was about to chirp him, and I can't.
Yeah, that was good.
That girl you just
He's
broke
so
up
pleased with
she's
himself.
the Xbox. Go ahead, Kendra.
I haven't broke up with anyone.
No, you haven't.
Start us up again, Kendra, by all means.
But that's why it's a joke.
Anyways.
No, but I have to clarify these things on the air. Go ahead.
All right, I like Koepka too, just because the way he's one of the LIV guys that still is interested in winning. You see the odds on Dustin Johnson, astronomical. You want to know why? He doesn't care about winning anymore.
I think the live guys are going to do really well this week. I also like a majority of any kind of unders you can get. I think that this is a good course because a lot of these guys can drive the ball. It's not really,
Who are the other live guys that are going to do well this week?
I'm
with you on Brooks. He's one of the guys I picked because he still wants to win. He's still interested in winning major championships and being thought of as John Rahm.
I was going to say I'm looking at John Rahm's odds right now, and they're plus 1,800.
I hate those odds on Rahm.
Do you? Why?
I don't think they're long enough.
I also like DeChambeau, but I feel like I kind of rode him a lot for the Masters. So I'm looking at Brooks, and then for my sleepers, I'm kind of going. I don't hate Morikawa plus 3,000.
Thank you.
And a lot of people are on Cam Young plus 45.
Okay, I did not do any Cam Young. Colin Morikawa, I also like for the U.S. Open because of how precise he is. How about Ludwig Åberg plus 2,200? And I'll tell you
I feel like people are taking a lot of stock in him right now because of how he's played.
Yes.
I don't know on this course.
How about
Plus, can he carry all that fake hair?
I was going to say my sleeper picks were going to be Morikawa and Tommy Fleetwood.
Let me give you one sleeper.
I feel like Fleetwood is due to get right.
Let me give you one sleeper.
Okay.
Keegan Bradley plus 22,000.
Okay, give me a reasoning here, Hardy.
He knows him.
That's it.
He's a fan of the show.
Yeah, he's a fan of the show.
No, he's a fan of the show.
No, you're kidding.
That's why.
He's ramping back up. He's a defending champion at the Travelers Championship, and we'll have the tournament hosts on the air for a couple hours on that Wednesday at the end of the month, Fred. So
yeah, I'll have thrown myself off a building.
Gear up for that. He's had a couple of rough starts lately, but he has shown that he does show up for some big tournaments. This is a big one.
I don't hate it, Hardy. Plus 22,000. You rock with it.
Why not?
Hell yeah. Dude, I'm with you.
See if he makes the cut and he's within 5 strokes of the lead on Saturday.
And then you can cash
sell
out like you love to do. Hardy loves to cash out.
I love cashing out.
Did you hear the guy
of the other bets
that had
Let me get the bankroll.
The guy who had Arizona, someone in Oklahoma City to win championships this year, or Texas. I don't know what he had. What did he have? He had 2 of the 3 champions this year, and in Oklahoma City is the last one he needed.
Oh, in the parlay.
And it was he was set to win like $1.5 million, and he cashed it out for
$80,000.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Put your money where your mouth is, Hardy. I'm just kidding.
I'll be cashing out that Keegan Bradley bet for $40.
Yeah.
I stand to make $5,500 on that, and if it gets me a 40% profit on what I laid on it, I'll take it.
If he's hitting balls on the range, he might be listening to us right now.
Hey, bestie.
Go, Keegan Bradley.
That's right.
All right.
Yeah, I most of my money's on Brooks this weekend. I think it's his course. Like I said, he's got a lot of power. He can hit the dang thing, and that's the kind of course that it is. Weather's supposed to be good, not too hot. I like a lot of the live guys. A lot of unders this week. I think that this course could get a little out of hand. We could get maybe some guys hitting up to close to 20 under. That's what I'm kind of looking at for this whole situation this weekend.
Not a chance they get to that number.
I don't know.
Not a chance.
I think we could see some 17, 18 under.
They got a 250-yard par 3 on that course. It's not happening.
All right. I'll see you next Thursday. I know where
lots
you'll be.
Lots of fours on that hole.
You're the only person here I don't have their number. I got to get your number
What's
so
it
I
in
can
Boston or something?
text some crap to you this weekend. Or I'll just at you on Twitter. I can't text Hardy, so he hears me talking crap to him about the PGA.
Freddie's just throwing one-liners out
I'm
there.
just doing Chip Chipperson because I don't like being outside
You
the
got
conversation.
any bets this weekend, Fred?
Nah. I don't gamble that much. I listen to what you say.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I do. And there you go. You helped me with the draft. The last thing I bet heavily on was the draft, and I did very well.
I did so good
And
on the draft.
I followed Kendra.
Wow.
No, when I'm out of the conversation, I just become Chip Chipperson. I just listen to things and try to make stupid jokes.
Well, I'll give you next week's huge for
guys who made you bad
Yeah,
love
songs. Next week is
yeah.
huge
Oh
for
my God, I
songs.
sent it to Dan. Dan, did you get my text?
Yes.
Okay. Don't let them listen to it ahead of time. It's actually the worst thing in the world. And
Well, let Hardy listen to it, but I
don't
won't.
know. I need this reaction.
That's fine, but some people have to listen to it. I will not listen to it. That's the way the show is.
But we got Monaco F1 coming up. We got time,
Can't
not
wait.
yet.
That's
Hey, that's
awesome.
the biggest race of the year, okay?
I thought Miami was the biggest race of the year.
No, Monaco. Monaco is like the cream of the crop.
I see.
That's with all the
Will there be a
yachts.
lot of play-by-play guys yelling and screaming like it was the last time?
Monaco's really fun to watch because there's this famous turn called the hairpin on it where you.
I've never heard of hairpin turns.
It's yes, thank you. But it's Monaco is
Very
like
famous, you say.
Monaco is the most famous hairpin turn.
Oh, okay.
It is like. Don't laugh at me, Hardy. It is
Laugh at the
literally
wall like you said something funny. I want to celebrate it.
it is literally like the most famous hairpin turn in racing, and it is a course where you can't really pass anybody a whole lot.
Yes.
So qualifying and stuff is very important for
Plus,
Monaco.
I'm sorry. It's just you can't pass anyone on this course. It's got a famous hairpin turn. Why am I watching?
Because it's like the most elite race of the year. It's like where all the rich
They
guys
gotta
go.
take
You're
that-
watching on the yachts. Like it's it's like a city course, so it's in the middle of downtown Monaco, like around the city. It's
It
super
reminds
exciting.
her of Jacksonville.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, Jacksonville and Monaco are the most comparable cities I've ever seen.
What's the name of the city?
They're sister cities.
What's the name of the city? What's the name of the city that it's at?
What?
The race.
F1 race.
Monaco.
I like Mana, but to have a whole company about it.
Chip. Cut that part out.
Time to go to break, Chip.
What the hell is going on?
I'm just saying stupid crap. All right, Kendra, how do people find you and not bother you?
You can follow me on Instagram at Kendra Middleton, pretty much everywhere except for Twitter. It's Kenny with an I Middleton. I think I'm going to put out another DM video today.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
right.
exciting. And incarcerated folk,
Feet for crafts.
Look up the station and send your letters. They will be not opened directly by Kendra. They will be opened by Nicholas and then handed over to Kendra
I
as
need
they
Nick
were
to
with.
smell them ahead of time so I don't get anthrax.
Well, now he doesn't get a bonus because you've just given one to him. All right, thank you, Kendra.
Thank you, Wiz.
We will be back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines.
We're brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel.
Real quick before we get to what we're going to get to, the start time for tomorrow night was set this morning. We were wondering what time puck drop will be. It'll be at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. The reason being they wanted to figure out whether or not Dallas and Colorado were going to be playing Friday.
Okay.
Colorado
7
won
o'clock
last
tomorrow.
night, so
There
that's
we
a
go.
late game.
All right. So Sean Grandy bothers me. I think he's a decent play-by-play guy. I don't like when he talks about, but like when he's not doing play-by-play is when I have a problem with him. I think he acts like he's better than everyone. I think that he talks down to the audience. And yesterday I heard this, and when I was coming back, I looked at my email, and a guy said, "Did you hear him?" And I went, "Yeah."
Okay,
it was a listener.
So there's a little switcheroo. I have not heard this yet. So
Yeah.
this will be fun.
Yeah. You ever
See how
hear the
fu- see how
Ghetto
much fun
Boys
we're
song?
having?
You see the Ghetto Boys song "Gangster Love"? We'll play a little switcheroo. I'm not the type who gets all mushy. I like to sit back and watch them. All right, here. If you have a friend,
Yeah, they're
I'll do it too.
Nice
Together we
guy.
can play a game of switcheroo.
Nice guys, the Ghetto Boys.
Willie D might be capable of violent crime. All right, here we go. This is Sean Grandy before the game last night.
Okay.
Game number 5 tonight, and as we like to say, if it was ever completely teed up for the Celtics, this is the night. And I realize, Max, everybody's moving the goalposts on the Celtics, right? The more success they have, well, this guy was out and that guy was out, and I get it. You don't want to give him credit. This is a night where, to me, I wasn't surprised at all by the way the Cavs played in Game 4 when you had the late scratch and the Celtics had to adjust.
What credit do you want them to get? What is the credit that you want them to get? What are you talking about? They're winning. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals.
They're moving the goalpost. They're saying they're not getting enough credit for beating a Donovan Mitchell-less Cleveland Cavaliers.
This is the play-by-play. This is the play-by-play for the Celtics guy. Shut up. Who's playing tonight and who's not playing with your 2 cents on everything? John's afraid to say anything because
Not afraid to say anything at all.
He
What I'm
agrees with
saying, what I'm saying,
He thinks he's bad. John says it off the air constantly.
He's never said that. What is Grandy saying so far?
Grandy is saying that, and this I think is specifically directed at sports radio and the people who call the station and other stations. That's what I think this is directed
Well,
at.
then how about he stop listening to sports radio if it's getting him all riled up?
Everybody listens. Come on.
If the Celtics aren't significantly better than the Cavs tonight, that will surprise me.
It would be. I think that, the Celtics have to just come out and play their game. It doesn't matter who's out in front of you. It's just what are the results going to be at the end.
I know there's still that segment of the population. I assume you're not with us now because you've already ducked your head in the sand.
What is he doing? Like he's at one of these protests. Like he's like a freedom fighter for the Celtics. You do play-by-play on the radio.
I know there's still that segment of the population. I assume you're not with us now because you've already ducked your head in the sand. Who don't want to hear about winning 64 games or having the greatest regular season ever or getting to 6 Eastern Conference Finals in 8 years. But the only teams that have ever done this have been some of the elite teams in the history of the game, yours included, Max, that did it. It's actually 7 out of 8 years in the 80s.
What is the point of this?
That they're really good, and you keep moving the goalposts and changing your expectations of them. I don't know what Grandy wants. When you don't show up for a Game 7 at home against Miami last year, people are going to say not nice things about you. When you have a losing record at home in the playoffs going back for the last 2 seasons, that's still that's still there even after last night, right?
It's right around 500.
So if they had
around 500, people are going to speak ill of you.
So if you had the best regular season of all time, that's fantastic. If you win a championship, you're in the conversation, I guess, maybe for the best team of all time. That's great. But if you don't win a championship, you're not. Your regular season means nothing. Nothing. It means nothing. The goal of the game is to win a championship. I don't know who he's arguing with.
I told you.
Well,
he's not the phone callers.
But John, he's
That's
not calling a radio station. He's talking on a radio station, and he's addressing invisible forces. You don't know how annoying this is to me. Like, just,
no, I get a
why
feeling.
doesn't he go? Mike Felger's or Fred Toucher or John Wallach is a radio personality in Boston. If he wants to get ultra specific and go, they said
Max
this,
does that for him. Yes.
Well, then who do we have on the show? Max.
This might be my favorite one of all when people have, freaked out about the 2 losses. The Boston Celtics just have one of the top 5 regular seasons in the history of the league.
Who freaked out about those losses? It's a chore to talk about these series. They're so easy. Again, I don't know who he's talking to.
In which they won 78% of their games.
Yeah, they had a great regular season. That's a fact. Sean? Sean? Be nicer to Corey.
Scored teams by 11.5 points a game. We're 9 games into the playoffs. The Celtics have won 78% of their games and have outscored teams by 11.5 points a game.
Full circle.
We've been sitting in this terrible spot in the corner for many years, so it's hard to see across the court. But let me just look across. Is Jokic down there? Is Jamal Murray down there?
Nope.
Is Anthony Edwards down there? Is Karl Anthony Towns? Any of those guys? No.
And if they were, we'd be way ahead of the curve.
So, in other words, take the Joe Mazzulla advice and go one step at a time and appreciate what's going on in front of you because the Celtics have a chance.
What are you, a Zen prophet? Like, what he's saying is like, please listen. Please listen. Like, hey, dummy, listen. Hey, stupid. You were taking this all for granted, you dumb. Now listen to me. And by the way, TV's overrated. Listen to me. This doesn't aggravate you, Jonathan.
No, it does not aggravate. Not near. Honest to God, it does not aggravate me. Although I think it's really great that it aggravates you to this level.
Does it aggravate you?
It aggravates me because I've heard this sentiment before. Just enjoy the ride. Celebrate the wins, but don't get upset about the losses. Well, that's not being a sports fan. That's
true. That's true.
I think that's what he's saying. Don't be overly critical. They're so good.
I like being told what not to do.
Yes.
Like that's fun. Like, what else should I not do? Radio guy? You tell me. Since you're just this bastion of knowledge and authority. What a fun game this is. I'm being told by the announcer what to do. Hey, stupid. I know that's the way you're feeling, but I'm calling the game around here, Chot. This is how it sounds to me. It sounds like someone who is thinks of themselves more highly than their position. It's ridiculous.
Well, they're more evolved.
Yeah, right. Well, that might be very true, but as a plebeian, I don't like being told what to do. Dan, go ahead.
Hey, guys. Hey.
Hey,
so I think Grandy's responding to this in direct to what Maserati had for a take the other day, and that's that this championship wouldn't count as much to him because they're not beating good competition.
Okay, but Dan...
So I think it's coming from Maz.
Okay, but Dan, can I ask you this, though? So Grandy is broadcasting to, like, essentially the world. This is getting carried on, like, Armed Forces Radio. This is like it's not just Boston. So to do that, he would have... In almost like a coward, he would have to do. He should go
very passive aggressive.
He should go. There's a guy named Tony Maserati that does afternoons on our what's it called our flagship station, and he says that this championship won't count. Well, I got news for you, Tony. These guys da 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 da, and then let's make sense because if I'm listening to this, I think you would agree, Dan. If I'm listening to this in Vermont and I don't know who Tony Maserati is. It sounds like he's yelling at me.
Yeah. That's probably the most annoying thing out of it from just a content perspective. He's making an argument, and I don't know what the other side of the argument is.
Right, Dan? Like, you're probably right, but, like, wouldn't it be better to explain who Tony Maserati is and then go what he said and say why that's dumb instead of just addressing the clouds?
Yeah, I think passive-aggressive is the best way to describe it.
Okay. Yes, thank you. And everyone knows that is not in my repertoire.
I wasn't going to say
anything. That's why it bothers you so much.
Wasn't going to say a darn thing.
No,
yeah.
I think I'm more openly aggressive.
You're saying the Movember mustache bothers you?
Oh. Yes, I think that it's announcing to everyone that, look at me, I'm doing something for no reason.
Got it.
Why don't you just wear a shirt that says, like, hey, prostate cancer sucks, or, like, get your prostate checked?
Sure.
Walking around with a mustache is just being a silly goose. All right, we'll be back. We have Nick. Hey, Nick and a friend down at the Celtics game. Good job, Nicholas. We'll have that for you in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hart.
Celtics are now through to the Eastern Conference Finals. They'll get either the Knicks or Indiana on Sunday or Tuesday in game number 1. The Knicks visit the Pacers tomorrow night, leading 3-2. The Bruins trail Florida 3-2. They'll host game 6 tomorrow night. The start time has been set for 7 p.m. The Patriots 2024 schedule was announced last night as part of the full NFL reveal. And coming off a 4-win season, Patriots have been given one primetime game. It's the Thursday night of Week 3 of the season at MetLife Stadium against the Jets. The season opener is in Cincinnati. The home opener is Week 2 at 1 p.m. against Seattle. Round 1 of the PGA Championship was delayed about 20 minutes by fog. There are only about a dozen men on the course at Valhalla at the moment. Luke Donald birdied the first hole to grab a very early lead, and the Red Sox lost to Tampa Bay at Fenway Park last night 4-3. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Eastern Diabetic Care. Are you using a Freestyle or Dexcom continuous glucose monitor to manage your diabetes? Eastern Diabetic Care of New England provides awesome customer service with on-time delivery of all your supplies. Visit easterndiabetic.com. That's easterndiabetic.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Pasternak got that shot away. Shoots, he's got.
Hi, this is David Pasternak.
Pasternak from the low laser.
And you're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Now, more Tuncher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Toucher and Hardy. We are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And you can watch us on YouTube. You can join the dozens. Riz and the other guys.
Got an email from Riz yesterday.
I get an email from Riz quite often. Riz, I'm sorry, I can't respond to all your emails.
I responded to him yesterday.
Hardy's very good about responding to emails.
You have been lately, too.
About certain subjects, yes. But yes, I am responding to more emails. I now that I'm not on Twitter, I don't know how to respond to messages really on Instagram. I'm much more prone to respond to emails. I appreciate emails more because they take more forethought, and they're not just random anonymous crap from Twitter. All right. Well, this is the thing. Last night, the Celtics, of course, clinched their place in the Eastern Conference Finals. They took care of the evil Nick Strus in his Florida Panthers jersey, which Grandy loved, by the way. And they went about their business and won. Now, we sent young Nicholas out, as we often do, to talk to the crowd, but there was someone that is now going to be with him.
Yeah, just because it's someone that we know and I've known for many, many years. So last night, Nicholas was joined out at TD Garden by our friend Robbie Roadsteamer. And the two of them teamed up and were out there, met very, very early. And we're actually talking to people, at least one person, I believe we'll hear, before the game even started. Oh, is Nick going to join us for this?
Let's get Nick in here because Roadsteamer, he'll talk to anyone getting audio down there. He's not afraid. He'll be down there. He'll talk to everybody. And Nick, so you met Robbie and was it comfortable?
Yeah.
He was wondering, what was the question Robbie asked you, Hardy, before he met Nick?
He said, I don't know if I know Nick all that well. Is he the type of guy? Is he going to want to take the lead? Is he going to be in charge and leading things? And I said, no, don't worry. I believe the power dynamic will be established early on once you two meet up.
I mean, one of you is loud and insane, and the other one is Nick.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. All right. So here is Nicholas and Mr. Steamer. They are out in front of the game before things get started.
What's your name? Diggity. Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Do you want to just make
No, I mean it's there. I mean Nick has become a parody of himself when it comes to this stuff and using things for the radio and not able to say things.
In our room.
Yeah, as long as there's no video, sure. There's a little hesitation there. Diggity, how you feeling tonight? Celtics
TD Garden. You're on a little scooter here. You have a corn cob
I don't
pipe
have a
or
little
something.
scooter, first of all. I'm a big boy. It's a big scooter.
All right, big scooter. I didn't mean to screw that up. But you got the pipe. You're living the dream out here. Are you excited? Are you a Celtics fan, or are you just going through the area?
Going through the area.
There's a game going on. Do you want any observations? Are you excited about it?
I have a broken leg here, and I like to get
How did you break it?
Skateboarding is only dangerous at a slow speed. I came in today from Wollaston.
All right.
Came in today from Wall.
Skateboarding only dangerous as slow speed. Fred, you're a big skateboarder. Is that true?
Oh, yeah, because I'm skateboarding all the time now. Yeah, it's much more dangerous than going fast.
So he's got a broken leg, which means he has to ride a scooter from Wollaston.
Not in a big one, not a small one.
And he's a big boy on a big scooter, and he has what has been referred to at least once now as a corncob pipe.
Yes, yeah,
it is
like a grandpa pipe.
How old is this guy?
Probably in his late 40s.
It's like a steampunk.
He's got a top hat with goggles on it.
Yeah, exactly.
I came in today from Wollaston.
All right.
I don't get out much with my.
This is a Netflix series. Are you excited about the Celtics tonight, though?
Do we have a
It's like a 10-part Whitey Bulger.
Can I meet a Tinder, like a Celtics Tinder girl for like?
I ain't pimping you out right now.
No, I want tickets and I want a place to stay. I want to make this into a dating for me to get a girl.
All right, fine. What are your best qualities?
Well, I'm creative and I'm useful. I'm handy. I'm actually a handyman. And,
I just smoked from his pipe. He's pretty handy.
I'm not a big.
Hold on. Did he actually hit that pipe?
Yes, absolutely.
So Road Steamer took the pipe out of the guy's mouth.
Yeah.
And started smoking what was in the pipe.
Yes.
The guy with the broken leg on the scooter who scooted in from Wollaston.
It's not a short trip. He smoked that pipe?
He's smoking
Yes,
the
he did.
corncob pipe.
Yep.
Good for Road Steamer.
Wow.
And,
I just smoked from his pipe. He's pretty handy.
I'm not a big weed guy, but I like to do it on occasion. And yes, he did smoke from my pipe, but it is we'd call it
It's like a grandpa's pipe.
No, it's like, what's that guy? Like, not Einstein. What's his name? And the detective.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, boy. Oh, yeah.
The detective. What's that guy, the detective?
How old did you say he was?
Late 40s.
Oh, God.
Late
40s. Well, who's going to pull Sherlock Holmes out of their hat?
Yeah.
And the detective.
Jeffrey Epstein.
All right, back to dating. What's your type?
I don't know. Like, she's got to be active, but, open to complacency.
Okay. Hell yeah, I can get him a Saugus 7 by 9 p.m.
I want a
tonight.
crafty first.
No, she's sloppy.
Well, that's not a real answer. Robbie, what's your type?
A crafty?
What's a crafty? Rob says no. Sloppy. Give me just sloppy Saugus 7.
Is he sure he wants that active an individual as well?
Yeah.
Smoking a pipe while scooting around.
On a broken leg, no less.
From Walsh.
What's my type?
Yeah.
Big lungs.
Do you know Al Bundy?
Yeah, hell yeah. Poke high. 4 touchdowns. My dad was one of those offensive linemen for Al Bundy. Broke his ankle blocking for that last touchdown. Man, I am hopped up right now. What is in that pipe? I want to rub up against the Bobby Orr statue.
All right.
So this was the start of the night. The game is not yet over.
Yeah.
This is 8:30?
Yeah. Right at 8:30.
Right when you met.
Yep.
All right. Were you excited to see the man?
I
Did
was.
You feel protected in a little way?
Yeah. We really hit it off. That literally like the first 30 seconds.
When Kendra was in here earlier, Channel 7 was showing footage from the game last night. Robbie was on there. Like,
okay. You should make a video about it.
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
All right, here we go. Like, hooray, look at me, I'm in the crowd. It's cool. Look at me. I'm standing with people.
Okay.
You're copying George Carlin at that point. Great comedic minds.
You know what? I think there's a Carlin reference coming up. This is after the game now.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, what's your name?
This is Joanna.
Joanna, can we use this for the radio?
Yeah.
How you feeling right now?
I feel amazing.
Hell yeah, Joanna. Where are you going to party tonight to celebrate your Celtics?
Oh, where am I going to party? I'm a party.
Oh, hell yeah.
What?
What?
Yeah, Tavern in the Square.
Oh, Tavern in the Square. Okay.
So they were using the acronym for Tavern in the Square. So they were saying another word for boobs.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not hip to the lingo and stuff.
I'm not hip to the lingo
You know?
either. I didn't know.
We're going to have to censor out that T word. Where are you two from?
Where are you from?
I'm from Quincy.
Oh, you're a Quincy 8. I know this is radio, but she is gorgeous. She looks like a young Steffi Graf.
Do you know any famous people from Quincy?
John Adams. John Quincy Adams. Bertrand.
Bertram? You know the Bertram? Oh, yeah, say something to him.
Tell us an embarrassing story from about him from high school.
Yeah.
Well, he was a senior and I was a freshman, so I have zero. I was
And
not
what did
cool
he do?
enough. I was not cool enough
Did
to be
he duct
hanging.
tape your butt cheeks? What did he do? Was he a jerk? Was Beetle a jerk to you?
Very nice. He was very nice.
Show us on the doll where Beetle touched you.
All right.
Did you? This is the Celtics recap.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I like how if you're from Quincy, though, that Bertrand is like a favorite son of the city of Quincy.
He's very proud of it, or Bertram, as Robbie called him.
Yeah.
Clay Bertram, also known as Clay Shaw.
So he is a favorite son. They're like, what celebrities do you know there? All right, let's do this last one. Let's play this final one. All right, here we go. It is young Nicholas and young Robbie Roadsteamer out at the Celtics game talking to the people.
Can we use this for the radio?
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
How you feeling?
Feel hyped up.
Hell yeah.
I love the shades.
I love you too. Let's do MDMA.
All right.
Let's party at the
Fuck,
Kowloon
let's go.
Ballroom. Let's make the Mets.
Oh, no, the W.
Talk to me about the game today.
Yeah.
Man, the Dominican from La Romana, Al Hafa.
Hell yeah.
I'm Dominican. Stop playing with him. No, we in the Nino.
Yeah.
We in the Nino.
Who do you want in the next series?
Boston.
No, we're already in there, but who are we going to face?
I don't give a I only care about Boston. Rhode Island. Rhode Island.
We're going to face Rhode Island in the
Yeah.
conference.
Wait, what?
He wants Boston in the finals. Robbie said we're already in there, and he said, I don't care, Rhode Island.
Who do you want in the next series?
Boston.
No, we're already in there, but who are we going to face?
I don't give a I only care about Boston. Rhode Island. Rhode Island.
We're going to face Rhode Island in the
Yeah.
conference finals. What you going to do, Rhode Island?
Yeah, what's the
Jason, who's got garter snake smarts. Except
Fucking
lesser.
Bucky.
Run
Hey,
wild on
hey,
you,
hey.
Rhode Island.
Yo, put respect on it. Hey, don't play with these boys.
Hell yeah.
Don't play with these boys. Put
Yeah.
respect on that name.
If you could say anything to the Boston Celtics,
Oh, this is a good question. Listen, if
What
you
would
could
it
say
be?
anything
What would it be?
to the Celtics right now, if Al Horford was right there with his gentle brown eyes,
Yes.
what would you say to the Celtics right now?
You want some weed?
All right. Maybe if Robbie let that guy speak a little bit more.
But you have to understand, because I heard the unedited audio, he said every word that you can't say.
Yeah, he said a lot.
You know, and saying them in endearing terms, but slurs and you know, just, you know, other curse words. So that was a tough edit. That was a tough edit.
All right, very good. Thank you, Nicholas.
Thank you, Robbie.
And
Yeah.
thank you, Robbie, for going down to the Celtics game. Chris Mannix, I imagine, was watching the Celtics game as well. Not like John, who was on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Very far from Nicholas and Robbie Roadsteamer. We will have that for you coming up in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Guys, generally you hear talk about medicine and effective treatments for erectile dysfunction.
seldom right and never wrong.
Right here. Is that Toucher or is that Hardy?
I know, looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Chris Mannix is a senior writer for Sports Illustrated. He joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Where are you headed, Chris Mannix? What is in your future?
I am headed to Saudi Arabia right now for the heavyweight championship fight between Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. So I'm on my way to the airport.
Wow. This is a big deal. So the fight is on Saturday in Saudi Arabia. When does it air, like, back here?
So the way that they time it is because it's a big event in the UK, they time for UK prime time. So it'll be roughly 5 p.m., I want to say, U.S. time, East Coast time. So a pretty good time for people that don't like staying up super late for boxing.
Which means it's going to be what, like in the middle of the night in Saudi Arabia?
Oh yeah. I was there back in December for an Anthony Joshua fight, and we started the main event. I think it was right around 3 a.m. local time. It was crazy how late it started.
Now, did they fly you at least business class when you're flying that far?
Yes, I'm not going whatever it is, 16 hours. I mean, I'm leaving. It's now 8:30 in the morning. I think I land at 8:30 in the morning. Time is a flat circle. I don't know exactly what is going on, but yes, I will be up front for this flight.
And for those of us who actually followed Fight Game, this heavyweight fight is actually one of the more important ones. They're going to unify the title. This is one, if you're not a boxing fan, to pay attention to.
Yeah, this is the big one, right? There has not been an undisputed heavyweight champion since 1999. Lennox Lewis was the last undisputed champion. All the belts are on the line in this fight. Both these guys are undefeated. Tyson Fury, most people in the U.S. are kind of familiar with right now from his 3 fights with Deontay Wilder. Usyk, beat Anthony Joshua twice to earn his kind of bones at heavyweight. It's just going to be a massive event.
What are the fights like there? Like, do they go? Is it like a whole spectacle when they have them out there in the Middle East? Is it different than the United States?
There's a lot of bells and whistles. They do a great job at the pyrotechnics and the ring walks and all those things. I think the thing that's different, and there's really nothing you can do to replicate it, is that the crowds aren't the same, right? Like if Tyson Fury was fighting in the UK, you'd have 80,000 fans in Wembley Stadium. When he fought Deontay Wilder, you could do, 20,000 fans in Vegas for a big fight. They have a good arena there. Kingdom Arena is what it's called. They'll have 20,000 fans there, but it's not the same. You can't duplicate what you'd get fighting in somebody's home country.
Okay. And do you have connections out there and stuff now, or is Chris Mannix treated like a king out in Saudi Arabia?
So to speak, yeah.
Chris Mannix is treated very well, but he gets to his hotel, he checks into his hotel, he goes to the fight, he leaves the fight, and then he goes home. That is the extent of his Middle Eastern adventures.
Oh, you're not shopping for exotic sports cars while you're there or doing anything else?
I've had a Jeep Wrangler for like 12 years. I'm good. I don't need anything else.
Hell yeah. All right. Now, who do you want to play if you're the Celtics? Oh, actually, take us through both matchups. How would it be different playing in Indiana as opposed to playing New York?
I think pace of play is probably the biggest difference. Indiana likes to play fast. They have since they acquired Tyrese Halliburton a year ago. They want to push the tempo. And look, they're healthier right now. I mean, they're basically at full strength in Indiana, where the Knicks at this moment, like 60% of their starting lineup is in street clothes. That being said, the Pacers have been such a huge disappointment this postseason. Like, they have been gifted a path to the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, Milwaukee down Giannis, down Dame, the Knicks down, OG Anunoby, Mitchell Robinson, Julius Randle, and they're still down 3-2, going into this Game 6 on Friday. So if I'm Boston, I want to play Indiana because I don't think Indiana is as mentally tough as New York is. I think New York's a better matchup on paper because of all the guys they're missing, but I'd want to play Indiana because I just have not been overwhelmed by how they've played this postseason.
Do you take anything away from the Celtics' run at all? They had a historic regular season offensively, but again, they played a couple of banged-up teams to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and as you were saying, they won't play a battle test. They'll either play a non-battle tested Indiana team or an injured New York team next?
Yeah, you know what I like is I like that the Celtics have played some competitive games in this most recent round, games where they had to make plays down the stretch, a game that they lost in game 2. One of the questions about the Celtics coming in, and it goes back to that whole idea of flipping a switch, right? Like, could the Celtics become this elite crunch time team when they haven't had to play a lot of crunch time games? You know, they had one of the largest margin of victories in NBA history, you know, point differentials. So they haven't had to play a lot of these crunch time minutes. I think the Celtics, by getting some of those games, some of those minutes in the first 2 rounds, I think it's going to sharpen them for this conference finals. Like, if you were going to beat Boston, I really believe coming in, if you're going to beat them, it was going to be in the first round, because that was when, you know, they would have to play a type of brand of basketball that they haven't had to play up until this point. Now they've gone through a couple of rounds. I don't think they're razor sharp at the moment, but I think they're better equipped for tight playoff games now than they were a couple of weeks ago.
All right, so you mentioned Halliburton for the Pacers. You know, the Knicks matchup would certainly be intriguing because of the, I guess the allegiance that a lot of writers have toward the Knicks. Fred has mentioned this several times.
Oh my God! Every national pundit is a Knicks fan. There's no. They're not Yankees fans necessarily, even though that's number 2. They're not necessarily Giants fans. They're certainly not hockey fans. Every single one of them is a New York Knickerbocker fan.
Well, I will say I'm not a Knicks fan. I'll put that out there right now. I will say, like most people, I have been somewhat in awe of what I've seen from Jalen Brunson. You know, Jalen Brunson was 5th on my MVP ballot. He was number 1 on my most improved ballot, because I think a guy that goes from, you know, non-all-star one year to all-star, all-NBA first team MVP candidate the next year is the definition of most improved. And this postseason, he has strapped this team on his back and had an incredible performance. That was his 5th 40-plus point game he played in Game 5. We haven't seen that since LeBron did it back in 2018. That was at that Game 5 in New York. And, you know, look, not a lot was working for the Knicks early on, and Brunson just said, you know what, I'm going to get 10 in the first quarter. I'm going to get 18 in the second quarter. I'm going to put the Pacers away pretty early on. You know, he is an elite player right now. So I think the flowers being you know, dumped on Jalen Brunson are reasonable. I just think the Knicks, it's a bad matchup for them, you know, because if Porzingis is healthy and able to play, he's been a nightmare for them in regular season matchups. The Celtics defense, like, they have great defensive guards that they can throw at Brunson. As much as I like Jalen Brunson, I don't like that matchup for the Knicks.
Like many, I thought that Kyrie Irving was going to torpedo whatever magic Luka Doncic was able to produce in the playoffs. But here they are now, 1 win away from the Western Conference Finals. How is this happening to Oklahoma City?
It's really, well, Oklahoma City kind of folding shouldn't be that surprising. I mean, they were the number 1 seed, but they're a young team. Like, I think they're the youngest team to ever win the number 1 seed, and you just don't make that jump in year 1. They're out of the playoffs last year. You know, it's tough to make that jump to conference finalist, NBA Finals contender in the first year as a group. I have been borderline shocked by what's happened with Dallas this year. Now, I've been as critical of Kyrie during his time in Boston as anyone. You know, he's forced his way out of 3 winning situations, which is always going to be kind of on his resume. But he has been the perfect counterpart to Luka Doncic. Like, he has not been selfish. He has been a great team player. I talk to coaches down there all the time. They say he's great in the locker room. He has really done kind of a 180 from the guy that we've seen over the last couple of years. Now, give the Mavericks credit too. Like, they made some small moves at the trade deadline that have been hugely impactful in these playoffs. Like, they got Daniel Gafford, who's a part of the rotation. They got PJ Washington, who has brought toughness to them. They have played huge roles in this postseason. But this team lives and dies by what Kyrie and Luka are doing. And with Luka a little banged up over these last few games and during most of this round, Kyrie has stepped up and he has been unbelievable. So he deserves an incredible amount of credit.
The other series out west, Chris, the way Denver started losing those first 2 games, storming their way back, ultimately, do you think this is going to show them to be fallible, or is it going to make them even more dangerous?
I think it makes them even more dangerous. I mean, look, I've been guilty of many a hot take in my time, but writing off the Nuggets down 2-0 was just dumb. Like they're just, I mean, that's just a team that's been through too much and is way too talented. I think Minnesota's going to regret kind of how they came out early in Game 3, but Denver, they're just not a lot of flaws when you look at that team. They can defend pretty well as a team. Jokic, I mean, the third quarter of that last game was one of the best quarters I've ever seen a player play ever. Jamal Murray seems to be getting his legs under him. Michael Porter is great. Aaron Gordon, is like round peg, round hole for what that team needs. Like you really have to look, guys, to find a flaw in the Denver Nuggets. So yeah, it was disappointing to see them start down 0-2, lose 2 games at home. But man, the way they've bounced back, I think that just shows just how dangerous they are.
All right, Chris Mannix, safe travels, my friend. Enjoy the fight. And everyone read all his stuff at Sports Illustrated. Chris, we always appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Chris.
You got it, guys.
All right, there you go. The great Chris Mannix. By the way, we got Bruins tickets for tomorrow night's game coming up at 8:55. There was a big announcement of the NFL schedules yesterday, and the Patriots put on a little show.
Indeed, they did. This is the new thing. You just can't announce it anymore.
You got to be very, very funny. So we will have that for you in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines.
The Celtics put away Cleveland in 5 games last night, 113-98 at TD Garden. Jason Tatum, 25 points. Al Horford, 22. Celtics through to the Eastern Conference Finals for the 6th time in 8 years. Bruins play Florida tomorrow night at TD Garden, down 3 games to 2 in that playoff series. The team announced this morning the start time will be 7 p.m. Patriots found out last night their 2024 season begins in Cincinnati Sunday afternoon, September 8th. The home opener is a week later against Seattle, and their one primetime game is the Thursday night of Week 3. That'll be on the road against Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets. Round 1 of the PGA Championship underway in Louisville. Luke Donald, an early one-shot lead at 2 under par, and the Red Sox lost to Tampa Bay last night 4-3 at Fenway Park. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Rodenheiser Home Services. Get your heat pump system from Rodenheiser Home Services with free estimates and upfront flat rate pricing. They're your heat pump experts. Schedule at Rodenheiser.com today. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9 o'clock.
It's not just the games. It's the preseason, the postseason, the drafts, the trades, front office drama, the locker room banter, and you talking all about
blah,
it.
blah, 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 blah.
On Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
this morning for your chance to score a pair of tickets for Friday night as the Bruins take on Florida Panthers in round 2, game 6.
7 p.m.
Do you want to go into your big, long monologue about why?
Nope, I'm done. I did that once and got the look. I'm not going to do it again.
Select tickets are still available to purchase. Visit bostonbruins.com/playoffs and be there to experience the action of the 2024 playoffs. That's a game I would love to be at. That's a big game. That's a game, and I am going to be corny here. That would be a game. It would be nice if there was a tremendous amount of crowd noise. That would be, if there was ever going to be a tremendous amount of crowd noise. You know what this game could be like? Do you remember that game 6 against Montreal in the first round that they won to take it to a game 7?
This is before they won the cup.
Yes, this is the first year they were good.
2010 or 2009?
It's probably 2009. It was like the first year they were good. Like they were okay.
Yeah.
They were the A seed and Montreal was the 1 seed or whatever, however it worked out. But Montreal was the 1 seed.
Was that the one where they went in game 5 where the lead changed like 7 times? And
Yes.
the Bruins won that game to force a game 6.
Yes, and then
I
they
do
won
remember
game
that.
6 at the Garden, and it still might be the loudest I've ever heard the Garden. Because it was a team like on the come. People were very excited. It was something to behold. So if this is that type of game, like, look, this team wasn't favored to win the Cup. I mean, this team was left for dead, 3-1.
Yeah.
You know,
they're facing
Marchand
tremendous
hurt.
odds. They don't have. Well, they didn't have Marchand. I bet you they have him tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think
I
they're going
bet
to
you they
have
have
him
him
tomorrow
tomorrow
night. I think they're going to have him tomorrow night too. And the thing is this, is that really home game 6 in a series that you should have lost by now. Even if you lose game 7, like you got game 6. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like game 6 at home in front of the fans, that would be nice. Now, I'd love it if they win. I want them to win as much as possible. I'd like to watch as much hockey as I could.
This team is not nearly as talented as last year, and you're already one round further in, and you're pushing a team that's better than you to really have to scrap to win. I mean, this is good. But Bruins fans get behind underdogs like this.
That's kind of my point.
Yeah.
And the thing is that it would suck to lose this game in front of the home crowd. Like, if you're going to lose, go lose game 7 in Florida. Yeah. Don't lose tomorrow night. Tomorrow night you win. Game 7 in Florida, anything goes. It's a single game, one playoff game. That comes down to bounces. Tomorrow night, you win.
Sam Bennett walks in wearing a Cleveland Cavaliers jersey. It'd be loads of fun for everybody.
Well, then that would be he'd be like you need a time machine.
Yes.
All right. Now, the Patriots' schedule has been released.
Yes.
They start at the Bengals. They host the Seahawks. Then they're at the Jets. One of their only primetime only primetime game.
Yep.
At this season.
Yeah.
Is at the Jets
week
on the
3.
19th.
Yep.
Week 3. That's Thursday night football. Because the Jets start off Monday, Sunday, Thursday, which seems safe. So what did the team do, Hardy? They decided to put on a show for the people?
Yeah, this is a thing, and other teams have done it. Let's see, the Chargers did one that I saw last night that I think is like creating an avatar type of animation thing. I didn't quite understand it, but they're trying to get attention for things, and I think you see it a lot of times from teams who are trying to generate interest in the schedule.
What if it was Jacksonville? And what's the Jacksonville coach's name again?
Doug Marrone?
No, Doug Marrone is not the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's the guy that used to coach that won with Philadelphia.
Oh, Peterson. Sorry,
Josh Peterson.
Okay, so
Doug Peterson.
Trevor Lawrence is Jack Tripper, and to Doug Peterson is Mr. Roper. And every time Doug Peterson comes in the locker room, Trevor Lawrence has to act gay. Wouldn't that be fun?
Do your Mr. Roper take at the camera for me? There you go. Okay, now we can move on.
So, he'd be like, Trevor Lawrence would be with the girl, and then Mr. Roper would come in, and he would be like, Jack, what's going on? He'd go, I don't know. And he'd go, All right, so here's what the Patriots have to do.
On the campus of one of the NFL's most storied teams.
Hey, this theorem on the board right here will help us predict our schedule. We've been working on it the last 2 years. Hopefully one of you guys in here can prove it right.
The most gifted mind to ever enter the stadium
This is correct. Who did this?
is the person who cleans its floors. Meet Jules Hunting.
You're telling me that this kid cracked the code that it took the whole offseason to come up with?
That's Ernie Adams?
Yes, indeed.
They pulled out Ernie Adams?
Yes, indeed.
He's still, I would imagine he would be on a tropical island. Drink in hand. You mean to tell me there's a kid here cleaning floors?
That's
hogwash.
Okay, we're going to try another take, Ernie. We just need you to speak up a little bit. The mics aren't picking you up. Go ahead and action.
You mean to tell me there's a kid here cleaning
Cut. So, from the diaphragm, Ernie, and go.
Nah, those don't work. You still can get pregnant. Ernie's still shooting fastballs.
The art of
Scouting lies in the ability to translate observations into actionable intelligence that could be used as a competitive advantage on a game day. Are you going to keep plagiarizing football scouting methods, or do you have any original thoughts of your own? My boy, it's wicked smart.
Hey, you like apples? How you like them apples?
At what point?
Okay, hold on. So just so you know, when he's delivering that line, he's talking to some Patriots.com guys. I think Lazar is there. You see Mike Dussault in the background, and my boy is wicked smart. I believe is Gronkowski.
Yeah, this was at what point during the editing process did they say maybe we should just announce the schedule? Have someone go up from PR and announce the schedule.
Week 1, week 2, week 3.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Like, hey, look, we gave it a shot. Everyone did their best.
Yeah.
Maybe time to move on.
Right.
I love apples.
Have you asked him about his future with the Patriots?
Hey, give the kid some time to figure out what he wants.
Yeah.
This kid's a genius. Could you imagine if Bill Belichick or Lombardi gave it all up just to get drunk with their buddies?
I like that they read the script beforehand, too. That they weren't reading off a crude teleprompter. Is there some way that we could do only Ernie Adams? I memorized.
So far, Gronkowski's had a pretty big part. Obviously, we're hearing a lot from Gerard Mayo. Julian Edelman is.
How did they ever get Edelman to agree to do this? How in God's name did they find that guy?
How dare you, Wallach? That's a mean thing
He
to
saw
say.
a camera and parachuted out of an airplane.
But now we get the first appearance from the owner.
I'm very impressed with what I've heard about you. We need a mind like yours working for our...
This wasn't from his audition with that lady?
Oh. Or he fake punched the guy in the face.
Yeah, you're
remember that?
Stone cold killer, Jack.
That was a fake punch? That looked really good.
We need a mind like yours working for our team.
Nobody works without a retainer, Bob.
We've already offered you a job.
Retainer.
If you...
Rob Gronkowski in the Ben Affleck role.
You told me this is at a playground in the middle of the day, I would not cast aspersions.
We've already offered you a job.
Retainer.
Some people can never believe in themselves
6 divisional games, 4 against NFC West. You know how f***ing easy this is for me?
until someone believes in them.
Hey, bud, don't take this the wrong way, but if you're coming over every Sunday to sit on the couch and watch the Patriots game instead of working for them, you're a f***ing idiot.
I wonder why Gronkowski never got that like movie star deal. Oh, it's because he's incapable of doing it.
Well, there was a lot of talk of what he would end up doing full time, whether it would be wrestling or movies. And boy, did I get shouted down for what seems like years, because we talked about when he was going to stop. I said, he's not going to go make the same money doing anything anywhere else. You're an idiot. He can make $10 million doing a movie. Okay.
Yeah, just like Dennis Rodman, just like all those guys.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Just like Shaquille O'Neal.
Right.
All those guys,
All of
all
them.
those great actors.
You could be great, Jules. Your move, Chief.
And some never know how much they can have until they discover how much they can give.
Jules, it's not your fault.
Not you, Ernie. Not you.
It's really not your fault that they lost Super Bowl 52.
So maybe we don't have to watch. They're just going to cancel the season now. There's no season. That's the good news.
By the way, there's a minute 20 left. This has been going on for 2.5 minutes. There's a minute 20 left.
They need to make some decisions around there about who's doing these videos. That was a lot of time and airfare to get people in there to pick that piece of garbage. Let's be honest. Not good. All right. At the Bengals, Seahawks, at Jets, at 49ers, Dolphins, Texans, Jaguars, Jets at home. They got a long stretch there at home. 4 home games in a row. Oh, no. The home game is in London. Sorry, It's the Jaguars game. Then they come back. They got the Jets at home. At Titans, at Bears, Rams, Dolphins, Colts, at Cardinals, at Bills, Chargers, Bills.
Over under 4.5 seems about right to me.
That would be a bold move having them win 5 of those games.
Yeah.
A bold
Well,
move.
they have to split with the Jets, in my mind, to get to 5.
The Jets who beat them in Week 17 last year or Week 18 last year with no motivation and no quarterback.
And if you need a bigger representation of where this team is at, even in the second Mac Jones year, and I can't remember how many prime times there were last year. I know we had back-to-backs toward the end of the season. You're still dealing with 5 primetime games. They have 1.
The only way they get a primetime game, and I think flexes begin after week 5, the only way they get another primetime game is if the other team has something to play for.
They have 11.
Buffalo and the Chargers at the end of the season, even though those games are in Foxborough, maybe either one of those teams has something to play for.
There's no way.
Well,
There's no way one of those is going to flex. There's going to be a better game with someone doing something.
I'm grasping at straws freely. I admit that. I'm grasping at straws.
They're not going to put a primetime game in December from an empty Foxborough.
Selfishly, I'm psyched. 1 p.m. games all season. I'm very happy about that.
Let's put it this way. It would take a minor miracle. It would take like someone was going to set some kind of incredible season record in that last game to have them an empty stadium on Monday Night Football.
And I'll be real quick. That's a better way of saying it. Every single game is a 1 o'clock game except for the primetime game against the Jets.
The Thursday.
The 4 o'clock game at San Francisco, the 9:30 Jacksonville game, and a 4:25 kick at Arizona in Week 15.
But it's all
Everything
1 o'clock
else,
local time. All of those games are 1 o'clock local time except for these Jacksonville
Everything
games.
else is a 1 o'clock.
I'm going to be so high for that 4:25 game because that's 5 minutes of smoking that green. Caller number 10 right now to the Sports Hub contest line, 617-931-0985. We'll score a pair of tickets for the Friday night matchup as the Bruins take on the Florida Panthers in round 2, game 6. Select tickets are still available to purchase. Visit bostonbruins.com/playoffs and be there to experience the action of the 2024 playoffs. We'll be right back. Speaking of the playoffs, Mike Rupp, who's been a national guy, played hockey in the NHL, he has been very positive about this Bruins team and their chances. We'll talk to him in just a moment.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
This is Jaylen Brown. Listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Toucher and Hardy.
Such an enticing explosion.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Watch us on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. And then subscribe. Because then it's the algorithm. And then the algorithm works to our favor. Mike Rupp, former NHL player and Stanley Cup champion with the New Jersey Devils, is currently a studio host and analyst on the NHL Network, where he probably works with Billy Jaffe.
Oh, my.
Where
Presence of greatness.
You two automatons just put on those hats just like he told you.
Yep.
Put on these hats.
Okay.
Put on these hats. You okay?
Morning brew.
Both
Razor.
we'll put them on.
Yeah, Mike tells me to put something on. I'll put that on, too.
Yeah, maybe Mike has heard of the podcast.
Fred, why don't you put them on? You can watch Mike on NHL Now and NHL Tonight throughout the rest of the Stanley Cup playoffs and the Stanley Cup Final on NHL Network. Mike joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Hello, Mike.
Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, Billy Jaffe, I work with him all the time. He's the best. Love Billy.
Does he ever make you wear a morning brew hat with his podcast on it?
Why, do he force you guys to? I would take one for free and wear it, but
see? That's what we're talking
Mine's
about.
sitting right here where he left it. It hasn't been moved by human hands.
Ungrateful.
All right. Mike, what do you make? I know that you liked the Pasternak fight with Kachuk. I know that you thought that was good for the team, and it's up to see if it is. What do you make of the officiating in this series?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly been, a lot of situations that have been questionable, I think, but I think maybe more so than some of the other series, but there's always going to be a layer of those. I actually, I think if we're going back to, I'm assuming you're talking about the big ones, right? Like the Marchand situation with Bennett.
I almost understand why that wasn't called, but I don't understand why the video from the angle that showed him getting sucker punched was held on to for so long. But maybe they didn't see that on the ice. Let's start with the goal that Bennett scored with the goalie interference, where he cross-checked Coyle into Swayman. When you're watching that, was there any doubt in your mind that they were going to overturn that goal?
So my knee jerk was that it was going to, that one was, it wasn't going to count. And that was the first thing then I started watching it, and I'll be honest with you guys, I think it's really close. I think it really could have gone either way. And then I started the more I'm seeing it, I'm like, that wasn't like an overly egregious shove. He's entitled to that ice there. And I actually was okay with it. Terrible timing. Could have gone either way. And I think a lot of times these things really depend on what the call is on the ice. And we see this in different sports. We see it in hockey. And I think that's what, so it's not, listen, I'm not, I know all fan bases kind of go through it. I'm not of the belief my team's trying to get screwed, or the fan bases, they're up in arms because of these calls keep going against us. I really think that the call on the ice made it very difficult for that to be changed, or overturned. And that's something that I don't know how you clean that up. And I know in other sports you got the same thing, where you got to have some evidence of, some clear-cut evidence to overturn something. I didn't feel like it was much there, to be honest. So yeah, I understand the frustration, but I also, sit there and think, I mean, honestly, I thought last game, I thought that one on the goal for the Bruins, I thought that was goaltender interference too. So it could have gone either way in my book there. So I think that this is the bigger thing, and we hear players talk about it a lot. It's a lot of gray area. There's a lot of confusion. I think as fans, consumers of the game, and the players, if we had a little bit of a better understanding, I think we'd be able to digest it better. And I just feel like we don't really know.
And, well, based on that same standard, Mike, of the call on the ice, I think the goal that the Bruins scored would have been even more difficult to overturn based on the fact that the call on the ice was a good goal.
Yes, no, I agree. Yeah, and that's where I think it gets. And here's the part too that I don't know. We were talking about this yesterday, and this is kind of what I would like, and this is maybe something in the future and the future CBA. I actually think that the control room or the situation room in Toronto, like where they're looking at these calls, right? So the one thing people have to understand is the referees and Toronto are completely two different entities. Right. So, they obviously have to work together in regards to what the call was on the ice and knowing, what the call is by digging into these different angles on video. But I was thinking about it the other day. I'm like, I think that those videos that get sent over and reviewed to Toronto, Toronto should not even have games on. They should be sent videos, not understanding the score, not knowing the situation. And I don't think they make these decisions based off that. I'm just saying, if I would like to know what Toronto thinks without knowing the call on the ice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like tell us what you think from this. I wonder if that would give a little bit better. It's still a little bit, it's not a perfect process. It's a muddy process. They try to do their best with it. But there's still times where I think if you just got the clip with no context of the game whatsoever, I want to know what it's seen in that moment. Maybe we get some different results.
You're not going to get anybody to agree to do that, though. They're such fans, Mike. They want to watch the games. You can't deny the pleasure of watching the Stanley Cup playoff hockey. I mean, what are you doing?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's fair.
Yeah.
What is your opinion? We here in Boston weren't too familiar with Sam Bennett's game, but he is the perfect villain for this series. And, Boston fans can't complain all that much because we've been rooting for Brad Marchand for over a decade. But still, it seems that Bennett's been able to step up his game in both ways, both as villain and player in this series.
Yeah, he's an interesting one because where he was drafted, right? He was drafted really high in Calgary. And there was a little bit of, I guess, anytime you have a high-end pick and doesn't really pan out offensively, that there's frustration in where the player's game is maybe at. I was just shocked though that this guy, he's got the pedigree. You don't get drafted as high as Sam Bennett and not have skill, right? We know he's got skill and he's got ability, but he's also developed how to be an agitator and a role player over the number of years. He wasn't necessarily getting the ice time all the time in Calgary. By the end, he wasn't even in the lineup a lot of nights. And I really liked his game though, because I feel like through that process, he had to make adjustments to his game to kind of be valuable in the NHL. So he goes down, and honestly, that's the best team for him to be on because, this Panthers team, I enjoy watching them. But, man, they're a bunch of – I mean, you could say whatever you want. They're a bunch of rats out there. They're a bunch of, they're dirty players. And they're great. You know what I mean? They simply are. And that's the way they play. They get under your skin, and Sam Bennett is Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Bennett, Nick Cousins. I mean, you go on and on. You go back a year and when they had Radko Gudas, like they have guys that just they get under your skin. They're hard to play against. They cross the line at times. That's like kind of just who they are as a team. And I think that's what makes them so frustrating too, because they do these things. And then you want to try to get them back, and then you kind of get caught up in that game. And they're a very talented team. So while you're preoccupied, next thing you know, you're down 2. And so I think that's all part of it for the Bruins here. I thought they did a good job, in Game 5 of just kind of parking that stuff. I mean, you always Sam Bennett's not going anywhere. He's going to be there next year. I know that doesn't, kind of fill or fulfill your appetite there right now. But there's a time and a place, and right now they got to get some wins.
All right, could they have handled the post-Bennett situation better, in your opinion? Is there a way that they could have maybe taken care of it that game, the game after? Maybe they were too focused on it. How did you read their response to that?
Well, let me see. You have in that game, it's tough because no one saw the angle that everybody kind of saw later on, right? So it's a little bit beyond the fact. I mean, Brad Marchand was dinged up. He was hurt. He knew something happened. So clearly he's your leader and you want to do something, but you don't really know what's going on. Like, I date this back. I don't know if you guys remember. You guys remember when Sean Avery, when he was with the Rangers, was putting his hands in front of Marty Berdore's face on the power, they're on the power play. So Rangers Devils in the playoffs. I was on the Devils. Sean Avery's in front of Marty Berdore, and he's literally like putting his, hands in Marty's face so he can't see the puck, like facing the goaltender. And we've never seen that before. Now there's a rule in place not to do it. And he had all these antics all series long. And it's like, I want to kill this guy. Like, I want to get him, and we all wanted to, but we're in the middle of the playoffs. Like, how do you do it? I don't think there's anything really that you could have done, with the Sam Bennett situation. And now when you get a clean slate of a game starting, like you can't do it now. Your playoff lives are on the line. So no, I really don't think they could have done anything differently. I think Pat Maroon was showing, he was showing everybody in the world that Sam Bennett wasn't going to take that fight. And you knew that. Pat Maroon knew that. Like, Sam Bennett's not that guy. I don't know. I don't think they could have done it any different. Next year's a different story, though. Next year, I'd like to go and, do something there in that situation, but, that's next year.
So you get legit pissed as a player. Like, you think that they're legitimately pissed off. This isn't like just a job you're clocking in and out of. They're like pissed at Sam Bennett, really do want to kick his ass, and will keep that grudge into next season. If so, I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
yeah,
really, so you wanted to beat the crap out of Sean Avery for real?
I'm watching the video of it right now, Mike. It's unbelievable. I don't remember this when it happened. It's quite frankly crazy that he would even think to do it. Turn his back to the play, and it's like something you would do in like a street hockey game just to goof on another kid. But he was doing it.
You're talking about Sean Avery in front of Brodeur.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, but so you still wanted to kick Avery's ass like the next year. You were still pissed off about it.
Yeah, I mean, it carries over. I mean, it's because you sit there and, you're invested, obviously, in the playoffs, and these things you can kick it any way you want. I mean, I think right now in this series, the Panthers have been the better team. Sure. But I also know that we don't know how good Boston could have been because they're one of their best players, and their leader hasn't been in the lineup the last couple games, right? Mm-hmm. And then it's just insult to injury, too, where, you see Sam Bennett getting that goal and kind of talking all the controversy with that goal. And then, his post game, like you get sick of seeing that guy and feeling the things you feel in the series. You don't forget it. You know what I mean? Like you sit there and you're like, I've had times where I've had times where there's certain things happen and you're like, now is not the time. We're going to park this for later. And fellas, I've been on a different team and it just become like almost like, and I still had that guy's number marked, and you go and you give him an extra two-hand in the back of the legs or something later on 2 years from now. Like, guys do it. It's you're talking about winning a Stanley Cup here, and guys remember these not so good moments in the playoffs.
Mike Rupp, I love it. That makes me feel better. I like that you guys legit get pissed and will hold grudges for a couple years. You can watch Mike Rupp on NHL and NHL Tonight throughout the rest of the Stanley Cup playoffs, along with his friend Billy Jaffe. Perhaps Billy will make him wear a hat too. And the Stanley Cup final on the NHL Network. Thank you, Mike Rupp.
Hey, awesome, guys. Good luck next game, and we'll talk to you guys down the road.
Okay, all right, thanks. Appreciate it. That's the thing, is that I want to know at least a part of them is actually pissed.
Yeah.
I can completely see them meeting up with Florida, who they play another 4 times next year. The first game back here at the Garden, go right after them.
Fred, they'll be pissed, and next year, they'll go at it again. But at the end of this series, win or lose, there's going to be that handshake line, and all will be right at that moment.
Yeah.
And
and then they'll go,
that's where that's where the sportsmanship comes in.
Yeah. All right, very good. We will be back with your emails because they're good ones. We'll have them in just a moment.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
NBA playoffs are going in, and it's not too late to get in on the action. With FanDuel, if you're a new customer right now, you get $300 in bonus bets with any win.
who is up for the Celtics. This is the night. And I realize, Max, everybody's moving the goalposts on the Celtics, right? The more success they have, well, this guy was out and that guy was out, and I get it. You don't want to give him credit. You don't want to give him credit. This is a night where, to me, I wasn't surprised at all by the way the Cavs played in Game 4 when you had the late scratch and the Celtics had to adjust. If the Celtics aren't significantly better than the Cavs tonight, that will surprise me.
It would be. I think that, the Celtics have to just come out and play their game. It doesn't matter who's out in front of you. It's just what are the results going to be at the end.
I know there's still that segment of the population. I assume you're not with us now because you've already ducked your head in the sand, who don't want to hear about winning 64 games or having the greatest regular season ever or getting to 6 Eastern Conference Finals in 8 years.
So I pointed out that I don't know who he's talking to, and it's very condescending to the audience. And then I asked John, who's also a play-by-play guy, and he goes, I don't hear it. Well, Anthony goes, hello, gentlemen. I hope this message finds you well. Fred, you are 100% right about Grandy. He's so passive-aggressive and condescending, it's annoying to be talked down to. I think John is not only afraid, but also has a little Grandy in him. Let's just look at how he's always correcting you with the names, even though everyone knows what you're talking about. He can also ask the questions while giving people the answer, assuming they cannot come up with it by themselves. That dang bird is a poor man's Grandy. Fred, you're the best. Artie, I love you. Best Anthony.
Signed Fred. No?
I thought you were on my team, man. And by the way, my son has like a swollen ligament. My son who won MVP of his baseball team as a freshman.
Mm-hmm. I saw that on the Instagram.
Well, I saw that on the gram as well.
I'm trying to have him put up because now to play college, they want you to have a social media presence with your stuff.
So here's what you do: have him put him up himself and in his profile. Have him put family, faith, baseball.
It's got a point to it each time when it pops up.
I wonder. I saw this big kid from a little south of here doing that. Big football recruit. So anyway, you're supposed to put that stuff up there. But he won't edit the videos and put them up. He's got like this great footage from this year. Anywho, he has his season's over before travel starts, and his foot was bothering him, so he got an MRI, and they're like, you have like a ligament that's swollen. It's BS. But they're like, wear a walking boot, which he loves nothing more in the world. Like, he loves this walking boot. Oh, does he love having it. And so
does he insist upon it?
He insists upon the walking boot. He's like, I'm going to get some attention. And so the ligament is like on the top of his foot, like kind of in the middle of his foot, all right? Or at the side of his foot, like in the middle side, right? It's important that I point this out because he puts on the boot and he goes, this thing don't fit. I go, it's an extra large. It fits you. Like, you're not a giant. Like, you have a size 12 feet. It's an extra large. Like, you're not Shaq. Like, this fits you.
Right.
He goes, my toes are showing. I go, if your toes are supposed to be showing. He goes, yeah, but how's the ligament going to get fixed if my toes are showing? and I go, what? And he goes, oh, I see.
He doesn't like that voice anymore.
I'm pretty good.
Dad, my toes are showing.
I'm pretty sure you're right, Hardy.
No, I know.
Dad, why my toes showing? How's it going to fix my foot if my toes are showing? Why are my fingers exposed?
They're a little Bill Cosby is creeping into this now.
He's getting a little Southern Bill Cosby.
Southern Bill Cosby. Root to this Cosby.
Cosby's been creeping in the last couple of weeks.
Dad, I'll tell you what. You got to do something about these windows. The dang birds.
I got an email after Nick and Robbie Roadsteamer were out together for the Celtics game last night. And they talked to the scooter guy before the game even let out. He said, hi, guys, did the scooter guy just say he wants a girl who is active but open to complacency? If so, that might be the most surprising and awesome response I've ever heard to that question. the scooter guy was also carrying around a corncob pipe.
We'd call it
It's like a grandpa's pipe.
No, it's like, what's that guy? Like, not Einstein. What's his name? The detective.
Jeffrey Epstein.
No, it's not Jeffrey Epstein, Robbie. But yes, thank you again, Robbie and Nick, for going out last night and talking to Scooter Guy.
Timus says, gentlemen, Sean Grandy's not being passive-aggressive. But more so massive-aggressive. He stinks.
I have one here from Matt while you're looking.
Go ahead.
99
Pat
point.
says, Fred Grandy is doing nothing that Zolak doesn't do on Pat's broadcast. Mike Gorman is a homer, too. The only one who's riled up is you, loser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 R's. That's from
Yeah.
Pat. How is Gorman anything like Sean Grandy? They're almost polar opposites. And you mean to tell me, okay, here's the difference. And Zolak's polar opposite from Grandy. Zolak is talking to the crowd and begging them to love him. Zolak is talking down to nobody. Zolak is the voice of the fan. Zolak isn't fighting against an imaginary enemy. You understand why this is weird. He's fighting an imaginary enemy. Who is the fans of the team he's broadcasting for? That doesn't bother anyone else. I'm alone. I'm alone in this world.
No, you're.
I'm a bubble. I'm walking around in a bubble of sanity while you all have taken the red pill.
You know what? I was going to support him. I think he wants to be alone in his bubble.
Yes.
I think he wants to be the only one who's.
I want human connection. I want fellowship.
He's
and I'm
wanted
not getting
dead
it
or
in this
alive.
room.
He's a cowboy. Yep.
I want fellowship and connection, and I'm getting none of it in this room.
99.9% of podcasts stink. However, I would listen to Mike Gorman talk about whatever he wanted to for a few hours a day. That's one that should exist among millions that shouldn't. That from Matt. You know, I talked to Mike Gorman yesterday. I talked to Mike Gorman at the game yesterday, Fred. Yeah. He spoke well about you.
Oh, he did?
Wait, yeah.
What? That's odd. They don't even know each other.
No. You're kidding.
No, it's true.
Let me make sure you're not kidding. What did he say?
Yeah, he said he really enjoyed his time on this show every week.
Well, it's not over. Tell him that it's just getting started.
Hey, Hardy, since the portal between New York City and Dublin is being removed.
Oh, do you know? Okay, do you know what this is? First of all, explain it.
Okay, so there's a portal. It looks like you're looking into another city. It's like a round window. It's a live video feed where people can like talk back and forth to each other. As you can imagine, hijinks have ensued. So they are taking down this portal due to completely unpredictable and bad behavior by members of the public. Now, what other cities should be under consideration for a new portal? I personally think a portal between Baghdad and Baton Rouge during football season would provide for excellent content.
You should hear Jim Norton.
Thank you, Andrew.
Pontificating about how like we're only a couple hundred years away from a regular portal. That that you will actually be able to walk through a portal and be taken to Dublin.
Oh,
he's convinced that this technology shall exist. That there will be a portal that you can walk through. But if you could go anywhere through a portal, why would you not go anywhere in the universe? Why would you stay in the United States or on this globe? There's an infinite universe. Why would you not portal up into that? Or just smoke DMT and then get there yourself.
I think number one, you just can't show up there and not have like a breathing apparatus or something. You don't know where you're going. How do you know that when you show up there, you're going to be able to live?
You don't. But but it might show.
Well, then you're going to die.
You might leave your mortal soul and be transported into another dimension, the fifth dimension.
Not worth it.
All right.
I just want to time travel like Gronk down to Florida. That's all I want to do.
That's absolutely true. Yeah. You know, he was just faking all that stuff.
Yes.
Do you want me to read the good ones or no?
Sure.
No, you don't.
I have another one here that says he needs more Robbie Road Steamer.
Yeah?
Yep.
Just Road Steamer needs to let the guys talk a little bit more, that's all.
I think there was a lot of stuff where a lot of the other people are talking, especially in the last one. Mike Lockhart can confirm this. The last person, he's had a lot of things to say, none of them suitable for air. The guy who wanted the Celtics to play Rhode Island in the Eastern Conference Finals.
I understand. Johnny Floor seats. This is from Jack and a Prius. I believe that there were reports that at one point Wallach landed on Aztec Gino's head, giving the appearance of a giant totem pole.
Someone just sent me a screenshot of Wallach. He's like behind Joe Mazzulla.
I told you guys that.
It's Joe Mazzulla and then Wallach right behind him. Yeah, but I didn't believe
Why did this guy pick you to go to the game?
I've known him forever. We've been friends since high school.
Yeah,
even
all
less
the more.
reason.
Yeah, all the less reason. I would use him on someone I was trying to impress.
Maybe he's just a good friend.
Is he married?
Yes.
Oh.
His wife was there, too. He had 4 seats.
Oof. Oh, and who was the fourth person?
Someone he works with.
A woman?
No.
Oh.
Man.
Maybe he was trying to set you up. No?
No.
Now, did they show you on the board? They showed Mike Gorman on the board, and he got a big standing ovation. Did they show you on the board?
Not that I was aware of, no.
Jonathan.
There was no thunder. There was no thunderous applause for me. Only for Gorman.
You need to wear a Sports Hub T-shirt next time, dude.
That's where you get the thunderous applause.
Did you wear your morning brew hat?
No, I did not. I left that home.
Yeah, and why don't you just anything else that's on the air? You should wear it too.
Sure.
What you should wear Fox 25 morning news gear.
Got my Toucher and Hardy shirt. Oh wait, they haven't made those yet.
Well, that's where I want the company spending their money. Go ahead.
Something we don't have time to investigate for today's deck, but maybe for tomorrow. This email from Jay Cahill. Nikki Glazer is a great comic. Also, fantastic listening to Big J and Bobby Kelly rip on this, and I assume they are ripping on the roast or maybe something having to do with the roast. So I would be up for that.
Okay.
So I will investigate that for tomorrow's Slack.
All right, absolutely. We will be back in just a moment with the stack. We will have that for you.
Toucher and Hardy.
That was
his go-to.
His
Oh, yeah.
cinematography choice.
Yep.
POV.
All right. Yeah, he was a very gonzo type guy. He because he married the woman that married the guy from Orgy, and the only reason I know that Orgy the band is because there was a Cribs where they were talking about how she had their child in a pool in the living room.
Oh yes.
So, and there was
Very
also a
holistic.
Seymour Butts. The only reason I know Seymour Butts, and this is absolutely true, is the Showtime show Family Business, which was about the Seymour Butts empire, and his mom and uncle were part of the staff as well as his wife.
That's nice.
Yeah.
He probably did very well.
Glaser was, his real name is Glasser. He was the focus of a Cindy-based court case, People of the State of California versus Adam Glasser, for Tampa Tushy Fest 1.
Oh, the real name not Seymour Butts.
No,
that
no.
surprises
The
me.
film won the best all-girl sex scene video at the AVN Awards.
Duh.
But then he was also, so I mean, it's the price of pushing the limits.
That's right.
They reached a plea agreement, though, to no contest to creating a public nuisance, and he paid a $1,000 fine.
And there was no lawsuit regarding his film Tushy Con Carne. That was not involved in any litigation.
It was sued for breaking Wallach's VHS machine.
Sued him for replacement cost of $40.
Wallach's mom sued the company that made it because they're like, my boy keeps breaking this machine. I pulled the tape out and it's Tushy Con Carne, and it's just all tape coming out of it. That's how I imagine your mom talks.
Okay.
My son's playing with himself. All right, what do we got going here?
Draymond Green, whom you are a big fan of.
I love Draymond Green. The world loves Draymond Green. Why does the world love Draymond Green? Because Draymond Green is his own person. He's not afraid to speak openly, and I find it interesting that the NBA is the only sport that has embraced this kind of person. The NHL is trying, kind of, but they're getting all these jokey, like, hipster mustache guys.
Paul Bissonnette, for example.
Yeah, like, and there's only one Bissonnette, Pete Bissonnette, the guy who played guitar in my band and said that he was rocking the Dome.
Oh, I didn't know that was his last name.
Yeah, and so every time you say his name, I just think rocking the Dome.
Okay.
But, like, you know, Barkley and Draymond are funny and outspoken, say controversial stuff, but more than anything, they're funny. And they're funny, like, in a natural, caustic way. They're not, like, cutesy, wannabe funny like the guys they have on TV. They're, like, hipster funny. But they're not hipsters because they played hockey. I know Al from SSD is a fan of the show, but he's no hipster. He's in a hardcore punk band. It's a difference. It's like the NFL has not, like, embraced, like, a brash, outspoken person. Look at who's sitting on at these tables. I mean, there's no one who's brash and outspoken.
Well, they were kind of hoping
funny.
They were kind of hoping PK Subban would be that guy, and he's not.
Well, I'm talking about the NFL now. Yeah, PK Subban's fine, but he's just not.
But that's why they
Barkley or
hired him in the hopes that he would turn into Barkley.
Yeah, that's
and
what I'm
he's
saying.
not,
Is that
and
I'm exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying the NHL has tried to do it, but they've misfired because they've gone too, like, hipster with it.
Yeah.
It doesn't even, like, the NFL, though, especially, there's got to be funny players that are, like, caustic. That's what a male audience wants. They do. They want, like, a funny guy who's caustic that will say things that will get him in trouble. That's what they want.
As funny as Draymond Green might be, he was up against Tracy Morgan the other night, and we all know who's funnier between the two of them.
Since we got Draymond Green in studio, I have an avid Knicks fan, iconic comedian, actor.
Family, bro.
Family.
Let me tell you something, Draymond. I love you like cook food. I love you like the fat kid love cake. Don't talk crap about my team. This is New York City, kid. This is the home of King Kong. This is where he died, okay? The Warriors is from there, okay? This is how we get down. This is New York City. He can't hear you.
Period. Don't talk crap about my team. I love you. Peace. All right? Back to you guys.
Okay. So there it is. There's Tracy Morgan and Draymond. But Draymond and Jason Tatum last night after the game, I don't know how well these two get along. My gut tells me Draymond thinks they're better friends than Jason Tatum thinks of, but this was their interaction last night.
JT, it's Draymond. What's up, brother? I just have a question. Y'all are moving ahead now, more than likely against the New York Knicks, and then more than likely the round after that, either Joker and Murray or Luka and Kyrie. Teams are picking on Al Horford in the pick and roll. What's going to be y'all adjustment to that in these next rounds with more dynamic guards when it comes to scoring?
First of all, we don't know who we playing, so you're not going to get me with that. We're going to take it one series at a time. We're not looking past nobody, but we trust everybody, even Al, especially Al, whoever's on the island to take that pride in knowing you got 4 guys behind you helping.
That was a bad question. He wasn't going to answer.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to answer, and at the end of it, it was like borderline uncomfortable. I think they kept Tatum for too long during that thing. He took the headset off, and then Draymond has to do the thing where it's like, I'll text him later, just to let everyone know that they're really friends.
But there was a video when they played each other in the NBA Finals last year where Draymond stuck up behind when Tatum was doing the encore interview. He picked up Tatum's son and swung him around, and but when he put him down, his son looked up to him and smiled as if he knew him. I think they do know each other. I think they do like each other.
You're going out on quite a limb there. You're telling me that Draymond Green just didn't pick up Jason Tatum's kid randomly,
right?
And start tossing him around.
I thought you were going to say you're going out on a limb by saying that some of these opposing NBA players are actually friends and speak during the offseason and maybe even make plans to play with
exactly right, Harding.
each other on a team later on.
Cracked the code. That's exactly what I was going for. Yep.
Because I can tell you this, if I was just standing around and like some dude from let's say we were here, so it's a coworker. Draymond's basically a coworker of Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
In the same
Zolak
league.
picks you up, swings you around.
I'm friends with Zolak. No. But if I'm sitting here with like Zoe 5 years ago, and someone from WROR comes down who I don't know and picks up Zoe and starts swinging her around. I'm going to get really, really angry. I'm going to get angry, and then I'm going to be the dick. But that's the thing, is that I don't think you should go around picking up kids that you haven't met. I think is a good rule of thumb.
Sure.
That, generally a relationship with the family would be a good first step. All right, what else?
You've heard about the Netflix move to stream the Christmas Day games on the NFL?
Yes, and it's fine because, again, everyone has Netflix. The problem with all this stuff is we're moving to a world, and I could care less about its effect on the games, but we're moving to a world where Sunday afternoons are taken away from us. And it benefited the NFL to move it to Thursday, the draft to Thursday nights, and I understand it. In moving the NFL draft out of New York and moving it around the country was a brilliant move, as evidenced by the success it had in Detroit. These are all good things, but personally, and I think for all of you listening that are like longtime NFL fans, this move away from like your Sundays being filled with football and good games every Sunday is not ideal, because I don't want to watch the NFL on Thursdays. I have a job and like responsibilities. And like on Thursdays, like I don't really care. I'll watch anything. Sunday afternoon, like that is Sundays in the fall. Sundays, the best Sundays of all year are in the fall because of what's on TV. And if you go to games, I guarantee you like going to Sunday games 1,000 times better than you like going to primetime games. The tailgate's more fun. You can hang out after the game longer. It's just you don't have to get up for work the next morning, because you're getting home at a decent hour. Everything about it's better. The weather's better. It's just everything about it's better. And it's just, I don't care that it's on Netflix. I have Netflix. Everyone should have Amazon. If you don't have Amazon Prime to deliver your Amazon packages, I don't know what you're doing. Apparently you love brick and mortar stores. But it's not that I can't get them, or I understand the flipping part is annoying. Like you can't flip around. But I have Major League Baseball app and I pay for that, and moving around games isn't that hard. It's just that I just think they're getting away from Sunday afternoons. And there were some weeks last year, guys, some Sundays at the end of the season when they were flexing games that had nothing. No good games. None. There were games, the last, if I'm not mistaken, I think like at least 3 of the 4 last Sundays of the NFL season were very slim pickings what was going on. And that's what bothers me. And it's probably better for the bottom line, and it's probably better for the product, just like the draft was. But selfishly, I want the good games on Sundays. If they want to put one in prime time, Sunday night, 2. Sunday night, I don't particularly like Monday Night Football, but that's a tradition. There you go.
All right. Another Netflix story
all
here.
right. Like I didn't say anything really profound and give you a little slice of soul pie.
It was all right. Netflix has given the go-ahead, the green light, the official word that the sequel to Happy Gilmore will soon be somewhere.
Billy Madison, That's My Boy are the 2 seminal Adam Sandler films. Happy Gilmore's fine, but it's not like super funny.
No, it's not. And if you go back and watch it now, it's the same thing with a lot of Sandler movies. There, the script is like they really try too hard for some jokes, and I wish he had like someone else in there to like help him like. Sometimes just the order of things, like change things around a little bit. You watch it now, and you're like, man, this doesn't really hold up. But
the ending where he like has to putt through all that stuff is really, really dumb. Again, not funny.
No, but they say this is not a surprise because of Sandler's longtime deal with Netflix, seen him produce and star in titles like The Ridiculous Six, Murder Mystery, and You're So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah.
Which was good. My
it?
daughter loved it.
Oh.
Yeah, like that's
Was
good.
Hubie Halloween on Netflix?
But you know what's controversial about it?
What's that?
Hubie Halloween,
which was unwatchable.
So unwatchable, though it's almost strange it was made, which makes it a little interesting.
It is. I'm like fascinated by like Sandler's a funny guy. He's a smart guy. How does he do that and say, yeah, I want people to see this?
Because I think it was for kids. But it's not even good for kids. But
No.
I'm so not going to your bar mitzvah. For the audience it was intended is a quality movie. Which sometimes you have to. As cynical as you are, Hardy, and quite negative, frankly, sometimes you have to know the audience. And that's why I'm here.
Well, heavy on the Pine Tree Cologne there today, Zoe.
Jesus.
What did you just spray?
Were you just at the
What
car
did you
wash?
douse yourself in?
You guys okay if I'm in here?
No, this is a crossover.
You have announced your presence with Pine Sol Authority, my friend.
No, you don't. You're not bullying me. I don't. This is not hostile.
You don't threaten?
No,
That
this is not
smells like-
this is not yet crossed the line of the hostile work environment.
That smells like a Pine Tree air freshener. What is that?
It's Creed. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Creed.
Apollo Creed?
No, it's the Cologne Creed.
It's
Ventus.
Scott Stapp.
Ventus.
It's Scott Stapp's Creed. Scott Stapp's Creed.
Oh my God, that guy! Yes.
Yeah, baby. You're cooking.
Oh my God!
Now we
yes.
got it.
Love that guy.
Yeah, you do.
I haven't listened to Creed in a while. I may do it on the way home.
Yeah, what would you listen to? Top 3
Higher.
Creed songs, go.
Higher.
And?
Arms Wide Open and Mount Prison. Yeah.
Hear my hold my head. I said,
Arms Wide Open. You haven't listened to a lot of lately. 3 Doors Down.
Yeah, you have.
I've been listening because I get on TikTok and like Sarah Evans, the country singer.
Yep.
She does that song with him, and it's like, wow, this is pretty good. And Goo Goo Dolls a little bit when they bring the kid up on stage and he like plays the guitar.
Yeah, do you know the
I like
3
that
Doors
one.
Down? You could figure out they were from Mississippi by the lead singer. Chromosome problems.
Yeah, I hate him because he got me hooked on like the acoustical. Oh God, Sinead O'Connor. What?
The guy from 3 Doors Down did what? Got you hooked on Sinead O'Connor?
No, Hardy did. Who's the?
I got you hooked.
Yeah.
I got him going down the Chris Cornell.
Chris
acoustic rabbit
Cornell.
hole
Like,
one day.
man, is he good? Holy crap!
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was.
He's no 3 Doors Down, but he's good.
And when I used to jog, I used to listen to Acoustical Sunrise on Dan O'Brien's.
That'll get you
Now
fired
you've
up.
opened up a wound.
That'll get you fired up.
Now, Dan, we've lost Dan for the week. Dan was they robbed that from Dan.
Now this is hostile.
It was stolen. Now it's a hostile work environment. Thank you,
sorry.
Daniel.
I'm sorry.
But you print out his text. All right. What do you guys got going today?
I didn't hear. Did Nick get any audio last night?
He did. He did a
Oh,
good
yeah.
job.
Attaboy.
He's a winner.
Nicholas did a good job. Loyal Nick. Sweet loyal Nick.
Yeah. Probably all Celtics, pretty much.
There's
The
nothing
schedule
there.
schedule
There's
came
nothing-
out.
Yeah, okay. I
We'll
was
talk
going to say
about
there's
that.
enough meat on the bone for 4 hours.
I am excited, and I told Bob Sosi, buckle up, big boy. I'm going to Skyline Chili, extra raw onions on top the chili, on top the spaghetti, and I'm going to blow out that broadcast booth.
If
It's a
you-
home open.
if
I am
you-
going to christen the 2024 season like he's never smelled.
If you never had Skyline chili, it's cinnamon chili on top
so
of
good.
spaghetti.
It is so good.
It's cinnamon chili, dude.
Some of them don't taste like cinnamon.
All right.
You get the right one. Skyline's good.
I've only had the cinnamon one. All right. Thank you. Enjoy Zolak and Bertrand That's it for us. Breer tomorrow, Cedric Maxwell tomorrow, more news tomorrow. It's all going down, baby. We'll be.
Oh, and you don't want to miss our Caleb Porter interview we have coming up later.
All right. Very good.
Thank you.